Ugh, ads are such poop. Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more for just $1 a month. Click the link in our show notes to learn how. And hey, we're on Patreon too. Your support helps cover the cost of running a podcast. For $2 a month, you can get early access to all our episodes ad-free, plus bonus episodes exclusive to Patreon subscribers only. Visit patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse to sign up now. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened on Friday?
I think Jehoshaphat, he questioned God, sort of, in some way, something.
He did, but he didn't get smote or nothing.
No, that was what was concerning, is that
right.
God's lack of smiting and smiting,
right,
and smitishness.
But at the end, Eleazar was like, because you allied yourself with King Ahaziah, the Lord will destroy your work, and then all his ships
that's right.
crashed and melted.
Yeah,
or
God sunk his battleship.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
That's some crap, man.
Yeah. Eleazar was like, "You're out."
God's kind of a dick.
God is a dick. But
Just saying, I don't want him to sink my battleship.
But to be fair, Jehoshaphat was stupid.
Well, yeah. I guess. Whatever.
Right.
My guess is that he just built shitty ships, or somebody else sunk them. I'm not really sure, but something happened.
Baby, you can sink my battleship all day. I got you pegged. You can peg me. What?
On that note, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 20.
It sure as fuck was.
And today we will be reading
2 Chronicles chapter 21.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. This is my favorite part. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
When Jehoshaphat died, he dead.
That's your favorite part?
When one dies, and then we have to read about the next
Usually
one.
they do it at the end of a chapter, or end of a chapters thing.
Yep.
So that's weird that they waited till the beginning of a chapter to kill him off.
Well, again, it's somebody cut these up into stupid places.
That's true.
And they didn't ask our opinion.
Right.
They
should have. They should have asked our opinion.
Better editor. Bible needs a better editor.
The fuck?
What?
You creating a song for an editor for the Bible?
Yeah.
Okay.
The job position.
It's open.
It's open.
Needs filled.
Yep.
Needs to be filled.
Needs filled, Ohio.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jehoshaphat died, right?
Yep, he died.
And he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David.
Could have guessed that.
Right?
Yep.
Everybody's buried in the city of David.
Lot of dead people there.
Lots of skeletons in that
city.
Tabernacle. Then his son Jehoram became the next king.
Good old Jehoram.
Jehoram's brothers, the other sons of Jehoshaphat, were Azariah, Jehiel, Zechariah, Azariah, Michael, and Shephatiah. And all of these were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
I said Jehoshaphat, but it's Jehoshaphat. Yeah, sorry. That reminds me. I did look up where did Jumpin' Jehoshaphat come from?
Yeah.
Nobody fucking knows.
Yeah.
But it's most likely...
We looked that up in another Q&A a while back.
I don't think we did, sir.
We did.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Because the only place that it might have come from is people trying to make up non-cussing cuss words.
Yeah, no, I know. We covered that in another Q&A.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever. Well, anyway, those guys, their father had given each of them valuable gifts of silver, gold, and costly items.
Okay.
And also some of Judah's fortified towns.
Got it.
I'll give you a town, give
Yeah.
you some silver,
Why somebody
whatever.
give me a town?
I don't want a town.
You don't want a town?
I don't want to be in charge of that shit.
Okay.
Fuck those people.
You can always resell it,
Fuck that town.
You resell it and get yourself a cottage out in the country,
I'm going to buy a castle.
You want a castle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think that'd be a little bit drafty?
Not my room.
No?
No, I'll have lots of tapestries and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And also space heaters and...
Got it.
It'll be the best room in the castle.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Yep.
However, he designated Jehoram as the next king because, of course, he was the oldest.
Right.
And everybody knows that the oldest always gets the top bump.
Right, definitely.
But when Jehoram had become solidly established as king, he killed all his brothers and some of the other leaders of Judah.
Oh, fuck.
I don't remember that.
I bet his dad wouldn't have been pleased if he'd have known he was going to do that.
Right? Like, just in case.
Yeah.
Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years. But Jehoram followed the examples of the kings of Israel and was as wicked as King Ahab, for he had married one of Ahab's daughters.
Oh, man. I mean, just by marrying one of his daughters makes you as wicked as the guy.
You know how girls are. They're going to lead you astray and make you eat apples and shit.
Right.
They're baddie, bad.
Especially those Ahab daughters,
They are so...
Ahab was the guy that wasn't he the one that went to war with Jehoshaphat?
I think so.
And like he was asking the other prophets advice, right?
Yeah. So Jehoram did what was evil in the Lord's sight.
Of course.
But the Lord did not want to destroy David's dynasty, for he had made a covenant with David and promised that his descendants would continue to rule, shining like a lamp forever,
Can't break that promise to David, who's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
During Jehoram's reign, the Edomites revolted against Judah and crowned their own king. So Jehoram went out with his full army and all his chariots. The Edomites surrounded him and his chariot commanders, but he went out at night and attacked them under cover of darkness, because back then they were stupid.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, nobody will attack at night.
And God let him win because he needed to preserve David's line?
I think God was like, you do you.
Okay.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Well, but if he's worried about preserving his line, he needs to make sure he has a kid, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Before he kills him?
I don't know or care. Did it have to be his? I mean, it could have been one of the other boys had a kid before he died.
I suppose that could be too, yeah.
Even so, Edom has been independent from Judah to this day.
Damn.
The town of Libnah also revolted about that same time. All this happened because Jehoram had abandoned the Lord, the God of his ancestors.
Or he was a murderous fuck who was killing people left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds more likely. I don't know if that had anything to do with abandoning the Lord, other than he was just a murderous fuck.
Right. Like most of them were back then.
Right.
Apparently.
So, yeah. A good number of them anyway.
Right. He had built pagan shrines in the hill country of Judah.
Well, that'll do it.
And had led the people of Jerusalem and Judah to give themselves to pagan gods and to go astray.
Man. How did Jehoshaphat let his son come to this?
He left it to his oldest son, who was a murdery pagan.
You're telling me that before Jehoshaphat died, he had no inkling that his son was this way.
Right.
Is that what you're telling me?
Apparently.
Like, he's worshiping pagan gods, and he murdered all of Jehoshaphat's sons, his brothers.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Jehoshaphat had no clue this was coming.
Right. I mean, you would have seen a little bit of a sign of, like, psychopath in him or something, It's almost
like these people had, like, no ability to look objectively at their children and be like, I love you, but you are one sick son of a bitch.
Right. Maybe we're gonna go down a notch on this line of succession here, because.
But you know what? Think about it. People today are just like that. They're like, my son could never.
I mean, that's true. The oldest is definitely privileged in some ways, for sure.
And fathers cannot see the ill in their sons. They refuse to.
I don't know about that, but
I know plenty of guys whose adult sons are complete and utter garbage.
Right.
I know one whose son was a fucking drug addict, piece of shit, and that father is like, he's a good kid.
Yeah.
Was he? Was he? Okay.
Right.
Then Elijah the prophet wrote Jehoram this letter. This is what the Lord, the God of your ancestor David, says. You have not followed the good example of your father Jehoshaphat or your grandfather King Asa of Judah.
He probably knew that as he was killing his brothers. I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
Instead, the letter continued, you have been as evil as the kings of Israel. You have led the people of Jerusalem and Judah to worship idols, just as King Ahab did in Israel.
Yeah.
And you have even killed your own brothers. Did you know that?
I mean.
Men who were better than you.
Wow.
So now the Lord is about to strike you, your people, your children, your wives, and all that is yours with a heavy blow, because God is a really vindictive son of a bitch sometimes.
Well, I mean, they're making him sound good here because this guy's obviously a dick.
Right.
Like, according to how it's written in here.
Okay, but really? God's going to punish everybody around you?
Maybe right. I've never liked that. That's
his
some
wives,
bullshit.
His children, his people. Like, wait, hold on. Can I...
They probably didn't have much of a choice in this.
Yeah. Can I just get a character reference on these people real quick?
Yeah.
I want to read their rap sheet before I go and just,
Kill 'em.
Yeah. You yourself, the letter continued, will suffer with a severe intestinal disease that will get worse each day until your bowels come out.
Oh my God.
You are literally going to shit your butthole out.
Right.
You are going to have a prolapsed anus.
Like, this guy is just calling it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Then the Lord stirred up the Philistines and the Arabs who lived near the Ethiopians to attack Jehoram. Boom, that happened. They marched against Judah, broke down its defenses, and carried away everything of value in the royal palace, including the king's sons and wives.
Wait, God's trying to preserve the line of David, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Only his youngest son, Ahaziah, was spared.
Oh.
After all this, the Lord struck Jehoram with an incurable intestinal disease. You got to know I'll be looking that up. The disease grew worse and worse. And at the end of it, 2 years, it caused his bowels to come out. And he died in agony.
Dude shit himself to death.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
He had a prolapsed anus.
Yeah.
His people did not build a great funeral fire to honor him as they had done for his ancestors.
No.
Because that fire was going to smell like poopy.
Question is, though, right?
Have you ever smelled burned poopy?
It's not good. It's not good.
Mm-mm.
Although, some people use, and this is a thing, you can use, like, frozen cow dung as a fire starter.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's not that uncommon. Like, that's something that people do in the winter.
That is something Ohio does.
I'm just saying, it's a thing.
It is a thing. Did you know that you can also, they're called cow chips.
That's basically frozen cow dung.
Okay, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that there are contests where you take these frozen cow dung, these cow chips, and you create great pieces of art with them?
That's really gross.
I know, right?
It's like sandcastles for shit people.
It literally, that is what it is. They make these pieces of art, like ceramics, like...
Oh.
Yeah. Only it's shit instead of ceramic.
Man, what? Why?
But it's not mushy.
Why?
It's solid. It becomes a solid, like you could put it on your shelf,
Yeah, yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's a neat piece of art. And you're like, yeah, it's fucking shit. It's shit. There's shit on my shelf.
Right. That's gross.
Right?
That's not okay.
That's a thing. There are contests.
What if it got really hot in your house? Like the air conditioner went out one day. It got really hot in your house.
You put it under the heater. Oh, that's gonna be nasty. Oh my God!
You got some poopery.
I just had the most brilliant idea. I'm gonna send a cow chip, like a piece of decorated cow chip art, to somebody that I really hate.
Yeah. It's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
It's inspired.
Yeah. Okay. His people did not build a great funeral fire to honor him as they had done for his ancestors.
But the question is, did they bury him in the city of David?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't even say.
Maybe they just tossed him aside and threw him in a ditch.
Jehoram was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years. No one was sorry when he died.
Is that what it says?
They buried him in the city of David, but not in the royal cemetery. The end.
We'll show you. You get to be buried in the same city as all the rest of the kings, but not in the royal cemetery.
You get to be buried over here, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
That'll show him.
He
learned his lesson in death there, for sure.
He did. I know. He's mad. He's spinning in his non-royal cemetery grave.
Right? Yeah.
Bad king. That's all I got.
That's all I got, too.
I made you laugh. That's all I got.
All right. That was 2 Chronicles chapter 21.
Sure as fuck was.
And we'll be back tomorrow with
2 Chronicles chapter 22. Hopefully shitless.
Right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah. Jehoram got power and killed all his brothers and then worshiped pagan gods.
And he killed his brothers for like no fucking reason. He was already made king by his dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he lasted about 8 years and then died.
But my favorite line from that chapter was, "No one was sorry when he died."
No one.
No one.
No one was sorry.
Not no one, not no how.
Yeah. That. So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 21.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're getting into
2 Chronicles chapter 22.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay. 2 Chronicles chapter 22.
Okay.
I just want to see if I could do a sing.
You did. You made
out
it.
of the numbers.
You did it.
I song.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's been done.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay. It wasn't very good, but I don't know.
I thought maybe we were starting like a monk chant or something.
No, just every once in a while I just like to make noise, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
every once in a while, huh? Just only every once in a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
the
people of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, Jehoram's youngest son, their next king.
Yay, no more murderous fuck.
Since the marauding bands who came with the Arabs had killed all the older sons.
Son of a...
Remember?
Wait, what?
They had killed all of his sons.
Oh, that's right. They left the youngest.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to carry on the David line.
Right.
And it better be the youngest one because he doesn't know what the fuck his dad did.
He did the baby.
He wasn't trained.
He did the baby.
He wasn't trained by the idiot.
No, he the baby.
Right.
So Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, reigned as king of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Ahaziah was not a baby. Oh shit. He was 22 years old when he became king.
Damn.
That's a growed up.
That's not a baby.
That is a growed up.
He has no rattles.
He's an adult. Okay, let me ask you this.
What?
When people say adult instead of adult, does that bug you? Like, it totally bugs me.
I don't hear people say that very often.
They say adult. Yeah.
I guess, yeah, it would bug me if I heard that.
I hate it. It's kind of like, okay, even though I know it's totally British, it's like when somebody British says controversy instead of controversy. Yeah. And the other day I said...
I kind of like controversy.
Controversy. I said that the other day and you looked at me and I was like, I was trying to be British just then.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that one is, you got to try. It's kind of like when, I don't know, when I hear someone British speaking, I think it's, adorable.
Right.
And same thing for like Minnesotans and stuff, like, and Canadians and stuff, like, yeah.
But when you hear somebody mimicking it or mocking it, it doesn't come off as good. Like, sometimes when Americans try to sound smarter than they are, like when Americans say whilst, and I'm like, you're not fucking British. It's while, not whilst.
Yeah.
Okay? Only British people can say whilst because they actually mean it when they say it.
Right.
They're not just trying.
Yeah.
Like, it just is the way they speak.
Do you ever wonder, like, if people think something of our accent? Like, do we have an accent?
Of course we have an accent, but...
I mean, we do have an accent. I just don't... Nobody knows they have an accent, right? But do some people know they have... Like, I've never heard somebody say, Midwestern... I guess I have heard Midwestern accent.
Yeah, it's...
But, like...
It's the one that is...
I guess growing up in the Midwest, I hear about other accents more because they're not here.
You know why? Because, okay, like a Southern accent is twangy, right?
Yeah.
And, like... a Spanish accent is kind of like musical-ish. Like, it has a cadence to it.
Right.
A Midwestern accent is just boring.
It really is, isn't it?
Like a New England...
I was always told that we are the, like, basis for, like, what newscasters... How they learn to speak, basically.
Yeah.
Like, we are the
boring
epitome of boring.
Yeah. We're the plainest. So when you say...
depressing? It's a little depressing.
Yeah. So when you say Midwestern accent, what you mean is lacking in any kind of like up or down or sing song.
Come on, just say it. Boring.
Boring. It's
fucking
just boring. It's monotone. It's plain. It's straight.
Right.
It's almost, one might say, lacking an accent.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's boring.
I mean, to us, it's lacking an accent. Somebody else might think it's an exciting accent. I don't know.
Well, I would like to hear somebody mimicking me. Although, okay, I take that back because Benedict Cumberbatch did mimic us in The Power of the Dog.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to watch it again.
Well, okay, I guess it was supposed to be a Southern accent. He did a pretty good job, but he said some things that made me laugh. Like,
gotcha.
He was trying. Well, his character. I'm trying to differentiate him from his character.
Yeah.
He was just trying to sound American. His character was trying to sound Southern and uneducated.
Got it.
He wasn't. His character was trying to, even though his character was actually intellectual.
Got it.
But didn't want to come off that way.
Right.
So he on purpose said things like panano instead of piano.
Got it.
Which I'd never heard anybody say before.
Yeah, I've never heard that before.
I thought it was cool though.
Right.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was a psychological mind fuck.
Yeah. Definitely was that.
And you know what? The further I get away from that movie, the more that I remember it better. You know what I mean? Like,
I never remember shit after I watch it.
Okay,
like I remember overarching themes, and I remember a little bit about.
Yeah,
things,
we're not talking about that
it.
because you forget movies.
I do.
Okay, what I mean is that I thought it was really good when I saw it, but I was like, what the fuck did I just see? And the more distance I have from it, the more that I think about it, and I'm like, my God, that movie was really fucking good. And I did not think that at first.
Yeah.
You know? It's just with distance that I've really kind of like, man, that movie was really good.
Right.
Okay, I don't know why we're talking about Power of the Dog.
Yeah,
accents.
I mean, accents, right.
Accents.
Yeah.
And Jehoram was
maybe he had an
guy.
accent. I don't.
He was a guy.
He was a guy.
Yeah, so Ahaziah, he reigned as king of Judah. He was 22. He reigned for a year. His mother was Athaliah.
Okay.
A granddaughter of King Omri, just FYI.
Got it. Okay.
The chronicler wants us to know that.
All right.
Ahaziah also followed the evil example of King Ahab's family.
Shit.
He was a fucker,
Man.
for his mother encouraged him in doing wrong.
Oh, it's all mom's fault.
You would have thought that he, being the baby, wouldn't know better.
But mom encouraged it, so,
Yeah.
Mom didn't die with dad, so mom got
true.
to,
That's true. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight, just as Ahab's family had done.
Man, that's why this is, yeah.
They even became his advisors after the death of his father, and they led him to ruin.
Damn it. Why did you have to lead him to ruin?
Wow. That's
those
strong
other guys,
words.
they're going to lead you to ruin.
They led him to ruin.
Don't you know this? Like, you've seen it happen. Like, all these other kings that worship the not gods, right? They get ruined. Because God.
Yeah.
Right?
Following their evil advice, Ahaziah joined Joram, the son of King Ahab of Israel, in his war against King Hazael of Aram at Ramoth Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
When the Arameans wounded Joram in the battle, he returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds he had received at Ramoth. Because Joram was wounded, King Ahaziah of Judah went to Jezreel to visit him.
Okay.
That is too many names that start with a J. I did not follow.
But the king that we're following, Jehoram's son, or he's visiting the other king.
What's his name?
I don't fucking know.
What's
the guy
Jehoram's
that
son?
Was Ahab's son or whatever, right? Jehoram's son is
Ahaziah.
Ahaziah, yeah.
Ahaziah, yeah. Okay. Ahaziah went to Jezreel to visit this other guy.
Yeah.
Okay, the bad guy.
Ahab's son or whatever.
Right. But God had decided that this visit would be Ahaziah's downfall.
Oh, man.
That's what he decided.
Yep.
God was like, enough.
Right.
Say it like how I hate. Say it.
Enough.
No, say it again.
Enough.
No, say it like we're in a fight. Like, oh, I'm pissing you off.
I can't act fight enough.
Okay, try it. Just put your foot down.
Enough.
No, that's
not
close,
right?
That's not scary at all.
Close.
No.
If you guys heard the earth shake, that was me putting my foot down.
Yeah, but it wasn't strong enough.
The
like
earth
your voice sounded
under my foot.
I felt the earth move under your feet. I felt the sky tumbling down.
Did you now? Did you?
Yeah, but that was not the right I know
can't do it.
there's this thing. I've been told it by like 5 men in my life, and every time it's like the most mannish, strong, like they look at you and they just say, enough. And it's like they're saying, I am the final word on this topic and you need to stop talking. And every single time, each of those 5 people that have told me it, like I looked at them and I laughed and I'm like, who the fuck, whomst the fuck do you think you are?
Whilst
You are standing there delivering this like mannish nonsense phrase.
How often am I that way?
Oh, hardly ever.
Okay.
I think
I wanted to clear the record a little bit.
Yeah, no, we've been married for like 15 years. You've said it maybe twice, but both times that you've said it, I've looked at you like, okay, mannish man, that'll be enough from you.
Mm-hmm.
But your brother said it to me once, and I laughed. And I was like, oh, is it? Because you said so, huh? Like, who the fuck says enough to somebody else? Like I'm the final word. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're not the one who decides if it's enough or not.
All right, that's enough, darling.
Oh, you better fuck the fuck off right now. But there have been a couple of other men, and it's only men. I've never, ever had a woman, and I have fought with women before, like argued heatedly. Mm-hmm. I've never had a woman look at me straight in the eye, standing tall and square, and say, enough. Like, who the fuck? Only a mannish man does that. No, don't. Now you're doing the gesture of you're going on too much about this. And I am going on too much about this, but it's because I need all the men listeners out here. Put this in your fucking brain hole and like smoke on it a little bit. Do not tell somebody enough. And do not particularly say it as you're standing tall and using your height. Okay, I'm a shorty. So when tall people look down on me and tell me enough, they're totally taking advantage of their height. And it's bullshit and it's bullyish. Don't do it. Okay. Right. Now it's enough.
Great.
Now I'll move on.
Okay.
So anyway, this is going to be Ahaziah's downfall, this visit. While he was there, Ahaziah went out with Joram to meet Jehu, grandson of Nimshi.
Okay.
Whom the Lord had appointed to destroy the dynasty of Ahab. Call me Ishmael.
Okay.
While Jehu was executing judgment against the family of Ahab, he happened to meet some of Judah's officials and Ahaziah's relatives who were traveling with Ahaziah.
Okay.
There's too many people. I'm not
there
following
really are.
all of
like,
this.
I thought one of these guys was I thought the guy that was wounded was Ahab's son.
I don't
So like this
know.
guy, but I guess I'm wrong.
But you know what? Who cares? Cause listen to this. So Jehu killed them all.
Oh well, I mean that solved that problem,
right?
Yeah.
Like don't
Maybe
worry
it
about
was
it.
Actually, I guess so. Yeah.
Don't worry about who all those people are, because Jehu just killed them all.
Yeah. Jehu.
Who is Jehu again now?
He's some.
Is that
other, he's the
Ahab's
guy that
son?
God picked. No, I don't think. No,
because
he was
guy or a bad
he was
guy?
exercising judgment against the people of Ahab, like Ahab's descendants. He was sent to destroy Ahab's descendants. There's no good guys or bad guys. They're all fucking idiots.
Insofar as the story that we're following.
No, he's not really.
Okay.
He's just some other group that God utilized to kill somebody.
Okay. But
that's it.
Is he on he's not on Israel or Judah's side?
He's on team somewhere over there in the other places.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I was getting confused. There's too many names.
Yeah.
When I read a thing with a lot of names, like a Shakespeare play, for example, I have to pull out index cards and write all the names and who's related to who so that I remember all the people and how they're related to each other. Otherwise, it's just like a bunch of numbers.
Right.
You just spit a bunch of numbers at me.
Yeah.
So then Jehu's men searched for Ahaziah, and they found him hiding in the city of Samaria.
Oh, okay.
They brought him to Jehu, who killed him.
Well, that's the end of that guy.
That's the end of that guy.
Bye-bye, as what was his name?
Ahaziah.
Bye-bye, Ahaziah.
You just can't remember that name. That's funny.
I can't.
I can remember that name. I just can't remember nobody else. So Ahaziah killed everybody, including Ahaziah.
No, Ahaziah didn't.
Yeah, Jehu killed everybody.
Ahaziah killed everybody.
Oh, sorry. Jehu killed everybody, including Ahaziah. Ahaziah was given a decent burial because people said, well, he was the grandson of Jehoshaphat, a man who sought the Lord with all his heart.
But he was also the son of Jehoram, who was an asshole.
Right.
And this guy was an asshole.
You know what?
Jehoram didn't get a good burial. They were like, no, you don't get to be down in the fucking tombs with the kings.
And you're all descendants of Moses or Aaron, and you're all descendants of Adam, who was a fuckface. You know? Like, let's be honest. Adam was a dumbass. So therefore, we all get to die. The end.
How was Adam a dumbass?
Because he's like, I don't know. She gave me a fucking apple. I don't know. What?
Okay.
I'm just standing here.
I know. I mean, it's not that I'm disagreeing. I just was curious which part.
It was the apple thing. I'm still stuck on that fruit thing.
Okay.
Because he was told, but supposedly she wasn't. And because
they were both there.
Right. And they were both standing there. Right. And he's like, I don't know.
It's all bullshit.
She fucking, I don't know. She just gave it to me.
No, he was there. He had heard God's commandment. He's just as guilty as Eve was.
Yeah, exactly.
So fuck all this, whatever, bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the woman's fault. But he acted like, I don't know, she just gave it to me. What? Like, he acted like she made him, it's her fault, Everything is her fault. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but she wasn't even born yet when he gave you that fucking commandment not to eat shit.
Right.
So, like.
So it's more your fault, Adam, than Eve's.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yeah.
But none of the surviving members of Ahaziah's family was capable of ruling the kingdom. So that happened.
They were not very capable.
They were not capable. That's a good callback. When Athaliah, the mother of King Ahaziah of Judah, learned that her son was dead, she began to destroy the rest of Judah's royal family. Because she was like, no, you did not.
Wow.
No, you did not just kill my child. I'm done with you. It's off.
Damn.
But Ahaziah's sister, Jehosheba, the daughter of King Jehoram, took Ahaziah's infant son Joash and stole him away like Moses from among the rest of the king's children who were about to be killed.
Interesting.
I remember this story. She put Joash and his nurse in a bedroom, and in this way, Jehosheba, wife of Jehoiada the priest and sister of Ahaziah, hid the child so that Athaliah could not murder him.
There's a lot of stories in the Bible of somebody rescuing an infant from infanticide. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stories. Mm-hmm. And it's not just in Bible stories. It's in all, pre-modern, whatever lore. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that. It's crazy. Yeah. Like I was just thinking there's Greek stories, there's, like all kinds of shit. So.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of comparisons between Jesus and, what's that guy's name? Hercules. Hercules.
Well, yeah.
Because they're both half God, half man kind of thing.
Sure.
And, they both are walking the earth kind of thing. I don't know, am I a god or am I not?
I mean, let's just be honest. Every god that's ever been invented has been invented before. It was been invented before. Even probably the oldest one that we know about probably is a mixture of other ones that we hadn't ever heard about. They came together at some point and formed this one story that is the first one that we, learned of from anything that was written down.
Yeah. Or passed down through oral histories.
Right. So even the first gods we are aware of were
based on previous
and they were mixed together from other groups. So I mean, it's all a mess.
It's all a mess.
Yeah.
And the fact is that none of them exist. So who cares?
Duh.
Honestly. So Joash, the baby, remained hidden in the temple of God for 6 years.
Wow.
While Athaliah ruled over the land. The end. I do remember that story.
Yeah, but wasn't the temple of God right there next to the isn't it really close to the castle and shit?
Yeah, but I mean, think about how big this castle and the whole
But you're telling me that nobody was yo, there's a woman living in the temple of God.
Okay.
With a baby that resembles the king's baby.
I read the book Flowers in the Attic, and there was a whole group of kids living up in that attic that nobody knew about. That was just a mansion. Okay?
All right.
That was just a mansion. Imagine now a mansion times 100.
All right.
And that's what we've got going on.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So there you have it.
I'll allow for it, I guess.
And there were several episodes of the X-Files where there was somebody living in the walls or living in the basement or, all kinds of stuff.
Right. All right. Well, I don't think we have anything else to add, maybe?
I added way too much this episode. Yeah.
So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 22.
Sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow we'll be back with
2 Chronicles chapter 23.
We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
The chapter started with Ahaziah. Mm-hmm. Then there was lots of names and relationships and things happening. And then with Joash.
Yeah, I actually got it all figured out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay, so Ahaziah, right?
Yeah.
That's Asa's kid or grandkid or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was Asa and then, yeah.
Asa's grandkid?
It was Asa and then Jehoshaphat, or do I have those two backwards?
Jehoshaphat was Ahaziah's dad, I believe.
Right, so it was Asa and then Jehoshaphat and then Ahaziah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're on Ahaziah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was all evil and shit.
Right.
And he was best friends with that dude Jehu from no, not Jehu.
By I'm sorry.
He was Joram from Judah.
Yeah, Joram.
Yeah. And they were best friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Joram got he went into battle with one of the kings that they were fighting, that they decided to fight for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And he got like stabbed or whatever. So to go mend his ways, he went to go stay with Jehu.
No.
God
he
damn
went to some city.
Right.
Yeah,
he went to go stay with Jehu's area.
Yeah, but the city where Jehu was, not with
but
Jehu.
that was Jehu's city.
Okay.
He went to go heal there.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then Ahaziah's like...
Jezreel. It was in Jezreel.
Yeah, Jezreel. And so then Ahaziah's like, oh, my guy, he's healing over there. I'm going to go meet up with him in this place that this bad guy lives that wants to kill us. That sounds smart.
Right.
So then there they are hanging out in Jezreel, and then Jehu's like, fuck all of you.
And killed them.
Right. Right? And so then back home, Ahaziah's mom is like, oh, remember that time when my son who just got murdered all of his brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to kill all of his kids and family and everything. Which I didn't really understand that at the time. Okay?
Right.
Her name's like Atheists or some shit like that.
Sure.
Okay? And so she's like, I'm killing everybody. But then Ahaziah's sister is like, that seems kind of mean.
Right.
And so then she took the youngest baby of Ahaziah and is like, I'm just going to hide little Joash over here.
Right.
And maybe he won't get killed. And then that Athaliah bitch was like, you killed your brothers, my other sons, so I'm going to kill all of your family.
Right.
And so she did, except for Joash. And that's where we ended.
Okay. All right, so that was 2 Kings chapter 22.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we'll be reading
2 Chronicles chapter 23.
All right, let's go do this.
Okay. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 23.
Okay.
And I forgot to say that Ahaziah's mom, Athaliah, her husband is Jehoiada, a priest.
Oh, okay,
So she had no business. That's right,
they were stowed away in the... Wait.
She had no business being murdery.
Oh, okay.
Because she's married to a priest. So
got it.
I don't know why she's all murdery. Okay?
I thought she was married to Jehoshaphat. The one that, there's the one that stowed away Joash. She was married to a priest, I thought.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
My bad. Okay. Yeah, I did it again. Like, I just as soon as I think I got a grasp on this, and then I fuck it all up. I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
I mean, I pay attention occasionally, so I got you, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. Like, after we got done, I went and I took notes.
Yeah.
So that I could have it straight in my head. But there's so many names that I forgot them all already.
Right.
So, oh well. What you gonna do?
Right.
I tried.
Yep.
Okay, in the 7th year of Athaliah, the bitch mom's reign.
Yeah.
Jehoiada the priest decided to act. No, you're right.
Yeah.
This is her son-in-law then.
Right? Sure, maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of.
This is her son-in-law because
it's
the sister.
He's a stepmom though. She wasn't actually at whatever that guy's whatever his name was.
What?
Ahaziah. It wasn't, this bitch wasn't Ahaziah's actual mom. It was his stepmom.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I don't necessarily believe you, but I have no reason to argue it, so I'll go with it.
All right.
But anyway, it doesn't matter regardless. Her son-in-law is the priest.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So Jehoiada, the priest, decided to act. He summoned his courage and made a pact with 5 army commanders. Azariah, son of Jehoram. Ishmael, son of Jehohanan. Fuck you. Azariah, son of Obed. Maaziah, son of Adiah. And Elishaphat, son of Zikri. And I'm not going to remember any of those.
Right.
But they're
five
men. He's like,
leaders.
We got to get rid of this bitch.
Right.
So these men traveled secretly throughout Judah and summoned the Levites and clan members in all the towns to come to Jerusalem. They were like, we have got to do something.
Sounds like a lot of people didn't like this lady.
She was crazier than the bad guys.
Right.
And the bad guys were evil in the Lord's sight. So,
yeah.
I mean,
right.
They were bad enough.
Yep.
They all gathered at the temple of God where they made a solemn pact with Joash, the young king. He's only like 6 years old or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know what the fuck kind of pact they're making.
I mean,
with a kid.
Yeah.
Jehoiada said to them, "Here is the king's son. The time has come for him to reign. The Lord has promised that a descendant of David will be our king. That is what you must do, kiddo. When you priests and Levites come on duty on the Sabbath, a third of you will serve as gatekeepers." Oh, I remember all this from the Kingses, remember?
Yeah, right.
Another third...
Don't they toss her out of a window or something?
Yeah, I think so. Another third will go over to the royal palace, and the final third will be at the foundation gate. Everyone else should stay in the courtyards of the Lord's temple. Well, if you've got a third, and a third, there is no and the rest of you.
Right.
Because 3/3 is a whole.
Right.
So what is the rest of you?
They didn't do math very well back then.
Clearly.
Math was not their strong. They couldn't even count to certain numbers. So
math is not my strong suit, and even I understand that when you add 3/3, you get a whole, and there's none left over.
Right.
Remember, only the priests and Levites on duty may enter. You said duty. May enter the temple of the Lord, for they are set apart as fucking holy. The rest of the people that are not one of the thirds that I just mentioned,
right?
They must obey the Lord's instructions and stay outside.
Okay.
You Levites form a bodyguard around the king, the kiddo.
Yeah.
And keep your weapons in hand. Kill anyone who tries to enter the temple. Stay with the king, the kiddo, wherever he goes.
Murderous Levites.
Levites.
Yeah.
They're making the Levites get out their little stabby stabs.
Yeah.
So the Levites and all the people of Judah did everything as Jehoiada the priest ordered. The commanders took charge of the men reporting for duty that Sabbath. Oh, they fought on the Sabbath. Damn!
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a big deal.
I feel like God wouldn't like that.
I can't even speak for God at this point because
supposed to pick up sticks on the Sabbath.
He's so fucking wishy-washy. Can you really even guess which way he would go on this? No. As well as those who were going off duty. Jehoiada, the priest, did not let anyone go home after their shift ended. He's like, all y'all working OT.
Well, you don't want anybody spreading rumors about, hey, we're taking over the queen tonight.
Then Jehoiada supplied the commanders with the spears and the large and small shields that had once belonged to King David and were stored in the temple of God. I remember
thought they lost that shit to somebody.
They did, but it hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
they did further on in the books.
No, but one of the kings since David has had to make bronze shields because somebody plundered the other stuff that David had.
I don't think that's
happened.
There
was gold shields originally, and then
I don't think that's happened yet. There was another
Chronicles. I'm not talking about the big one. I'm talking about there was another plundering where then they had to make bronze shields. One of the kings that we've already read about in Chronicles here. I can't remember which one, but somebody since David had to make bronze shields because somebody had plundered all the shit.
Didn't they get all that shit back?
It was after Solomon because Solomon made all the riches and then the next guy lost it all.
Okay, but didn't they get it back?
I don't
think so. They just did a shit ton of plundering.
Maybe they plundered other shit, but,
I don't know. Whatever.
They don't have David shields is my point.
Okay, whatever. Who cares? Jehoiada, stationed all the people around the king with their weapons ready. They formed a line from the south side of the temple around to the north side and all around the altar. I can't believe, she has no idea that this is going on.
It seems like it would be a little suspicious, right?
We said this at the time last time around.
Yeah.
We were like, how does she not know?
And she doesn't have people reporting to her, like, hey, there's a big
to-do
army forming in town.
Well, they maybe don't have their swords, out.
Right.
They're ready,
but
they're not.
Happening.
Right. There's a gathering. There's a to-do. There's a fracas.
Right.
Then Jehoiada and his sons brought out Joash, the king's son, the kiddo, placed the crown on his itty-bitty little head, and presented him with a copy of God's laws.
Because that's what you do to 6-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't remember them giving him a copy of God's laws the first time around.
Probably didn't. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't think they had a copy.
But it's the first documented time of indoctrination.
Yeah, that's true. They anointed him. I guess they have the right to anoint him, huh?
Sure.
And proclaimed him king, and everyone shouted, "Long live the king!"
I mean, it's the way I see it. You can, pretty much anoint anybody you want king.
I think we did this before. Me and you anointed each other and decided we're
right.
kings.
I think we did.
Because anybody can be a king. And
have you done any kingly acts since then? I haven't. I haven't done any kingly acts.
I'm trying to think. No, I mean, would a kingly act be something bossy, or would it be something good and decent?
I suppose it depends on what kind of king you are, right?
Okay.
Are you a good king or are you a shit king?
I mean, I would be a good king.
Did you destroy a share of pools or did you let people have them?
Oh, I let people have whatever they want.
Oh, okay. So, right. So there you go. You were a good king, but not to God. God probably would have smited you.
I'm smote.
But you're not smote, so I guess you're still reigning.
But I'm not in David's line.
Are we
so
co-kings?
Does it even matter? Well, yeah, okay. Obviously.
Got it. Okay.
Because
I'm just checking.
I'm not king over you, and you're not king over me.
Right.
We king-a-ling-a-ding-dong together. We king around.
Okay.
Kings be kinging.
Right, yeah.
When Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and the shouts of praise to the king.
Yeah, that'll give it away every time.
Yeah. She hurried to the Lord's temple to see what the fuck was happening. When she arrived, she saw the newly crowned king standing in his place of authority by the pillar at the temple entrance. Oh, I bet her face was mad.
Yeah.
I would love to see her face.
Yeah. But she just ran down there by herself?
Surely she had...
Did she have some guards with her?
She had some handmaids with her, I'm sure.
All right.
I'm sure. The commanders and trumpeters were surrounding him, and people from all over the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. Singers, da-da-da.
You know what I don't understand?
No.
So there's all these people, right? And the thing they needed to throw off this shitty ruler is to anoint a king. Mm-hmm. Why didn't they just... what's wrong with just taking it yourself?
Yeah, they could have done this at any time.
Fuck cares about a king? Just take the goddamn place over.
But they could have, but it took the one guy, the one priest, to put it all into action and make it happen.
Sure, no, I get it.
He was a follower of God.
I suppose. But, why are we so hung up on symbology and symbols and things?
Symbolism?
Symbolism, yeah, sorry. It just... These people could have thrown this shit-ass ruler out anytime they wanted to. Okay,
you're asking that question, but yet we live in a country with lots of people who don't like the way...
that's exactly right. I don't understand it now as much as I don't understand it for then.
Because we go along to get along, and we're used to... It's easier to just go with what you're used to,
Yeah.
What, are you going to go insurrection? I'm not.
No.
Let's say Trump gets in office again. Are you going to go insurrection?
I'll protest.
Okay, but protest is not the same as, why didn't you just go declare yourself the president?
If he tries to scrap the goddamn Constitution, I might consider...
You are so full of shit. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't.
Whatever.
No, you can't say things like that on a podcast.
You can't tell me what I wouldn't do.
I know what you wouldn't do.
You do not.
I do know what you wouldn't do. And what you wouldn't do is you wouldn't just be like, I'm the president now. I've decided. And that's the same thing these people are going through.
All right.
They have a method. They have a thing.
Okay. All right.
Singers, yeah, with musical instruments were leading the people in a great celebration. When Athaliah saw this, that bitch tore her clothes in despair and shouted, "Treason! Treason! Oh, what a world!" Melting.
Just in case anybody missed that, it was treason.
Treason. Treason! God damn it! Treason! Then Jehoiada the priest ordered the commanders who were in charge of the troops, take her to the soldiers in front of the temple and kill anyone who tries to rescue her.
Wow.
No, he didn't say go kill her. He just said kill anybody that tries to rescue her.
No, I got it.
For the priest had said she must not be killed in the temple of the Lord. I do remember that.
I do too.
Because they were like, we're doing this all on the up and up.
This is the lady that got thrown out the goddamn window and then left for dogs to eat.
I thought it was too, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So they seized her and led her out to the entrance of the horse gate on the palace grounds, and they killed her there. Damn, they killed her with the horses.
Yeah.
She got horse poopy in her intestines. Then Jehoiada made a covenant between himself and the king and the people that they would be the Lord's people. And all the people went over to the temple of Baal and tore it down.
Yeah, they did.
They tore it the fuck down.
That's what the good kings do. They tear down those fucking altars.
And then they get rid of the Asherah poles.
Right.
They demolished the altars and smashed the idols, and they killed Matan. Oh, no. I did a scroll.
You did a scroll thing, yeah.
Oopsie. Okay. They killed Matan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars.
Damn.
Whoever Matan is, like,
He's
never...
the priest of Baal.
I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I want to look him up.
That's kind of shitty, though. You know, like, this guy's he's just doing his job, and he's like, all right, we're worshiping Baal this week. And then they're like, not anymore, and now you're dead.
And recorded in history forever as an evil, evil motherfucker.
So it just let it be known, apparently. I mean, God didn't technically sanction this, but he didn't say anything bad about it. God apparently is okay with killing religious rivals. So, yeah.
Of course he is.
That's shitty. That's shitty.
He is a murdery, vengeful sumbitch.
Right. I agree. I don't agree with that move. I think that's dumb.
No, it's a douche move.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Right.
Jehoiada now put the priests and Levites in charge of the temple of the Lord, following all the directions given by David. He also commanded them to present burnt offerings to the Lord, as prescribed by the law of Moses, and to sing and rejoice, as David had instructed. I want to see some dancing, bouncing ding-dongs. That's what I want to see. He also stationed gatekeepers, but not keymasters, at the gates of the Lord's temple to keep out those who, for any reason, were ceremonially unclean. Like anybody who had just had sex, or anybody who was menstruating, or anybody who had just happened to be a vampire that sucked blood.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that they don't really mention the unclean thing hardly at all for ever.
And then all of
a sudden, right here at the end of a chapter, they're like, and the ceremonially unclean are we going to get kept out too?
Because he is the goodest good of the good that ever gooded.
Yeah, we don't want to forget about that thing that they covered in detail.
Yeah.
But then didn't say another word about after that.
Right.
So
then the commanders, nobles, rulers, and all the people of the land escorted the kidlit king from the temple of the Lord, and they went through the upper gate and into the palace, and they seated the little kidlit king on the royal throne. They probably had to give him a pillow, because if I recall, he's only 6.
Yeah.
So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was peaceful because Athaliah had been killed. The end.
Right.
Murder always rights a wrong.
I mean, they made her sound pretty bad, so whatever.
Yeah, no, they said she was bad. They didn't make her sound bad. They just said she was bad.
Right. They said she was bad.
She was no more murdery than anybody else. The fact of the matter is she was a woman.
I mean, maybe she was, though. Maybe she was more murdery.
But we don't know that based on what has been recorded here.
Right. No, I agree.
As far as
we
I
also
can
don't
tell,
know that it didn't happen. So,
but as far as I can tell, she was no worse than anybody else before her.
Right.
Because there was all kinds of kings that were like, I did evil in the sight of the Lord, but really, I got to rule for 30 plus years.
Really, it just matters who you're, like, the winners wrote the book, so they can murder people and make it look like a good thing, and she can murder people and it's a bad thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So I
think it had a lot to do with the fact that she was a woman.
Right.
They were like,
I'm sure.
She had a vagina. She can't be in charge.
Right.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happened.
Right. And that was 2 Chronicles chapter 23.
It sure as fuck was.
And we will be back tomorrow with
2 Chronicles chapter 24 to find out what that kidlet did.
Yeah. We'll see you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
There was Jehoiada teamed up with some people to kill Athaliah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they killed the queen bitch.
Yeah, and then they crowned the kid.
They put a crown on that kid, and he's only like 6, and they're like, "Long live the king!"
Right.
And they didn't just kill the queen; they killed her out where the horses
go
where
poopy. They take shits. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
poopy.
Yeah, because it's fun to say poopy.
Some people commented on that.
Did they really?
They did.
It makes me happy when somebody thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a good funny. Stuff. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 23. Three.
Sorry, 3.
You were in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
I was confused. 23. That was 23.
Yep. Sure as fuck was.
And
sorry.
Today we are reading
2 Chronicles, actually chapter 24.
That's the one. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 24.
All right.
Joash was 7 years old when he became king.
Okay, I thought
so. Not 6.
I thought he was 6.
7.
Yeah, didn't it say 6 in the last chapter?
Well, I'm wondering if that sister girl, what's her face, hid Joash when he was 1, like he's a baby.
Okay.
Right? And so 6 years later, then he would be 7.
Okay. All right.
I thought he was 6, but
I'll allow for slight.
It's just a year. Who
right?
cares?
It's just a year. Whatever.
So Joash was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So he's in like 1st grade.
Yeah.
If they had such thing, which they didn't.
Right.
When he became king. And
although for the lifespan of people back then, that's almost like middle age.
Well, he reigned in Jerusalem 40 years.
Damn.
He lived to a ripe old age, right?
Like 47.
Yeah. His mother was... Oh, you were right.
I was right?
Yeah.
About what?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to fit these people together. No, never mind. I was thinking that queen bitch, she wasn't his mom.
No.
She was,
She was the guy that the other...
What is his name? It's
Joash's
dad.
Names.
Who's Joash's dad?
I've already forgotten.
I know, me too.
But he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Asa's son, right?
Oh, Jesus. You're throwing too many goddamn names at me.
He was killed by Jehu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so his mother was Zibiah from Beersheba.
That's the one.
Joash did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight throughout the lifetime of Jehoiada the priest.
Oh, but only through the priest.
As soon as the priest died, it's off.
Yeah. Like, party on, man.
Oh, damn. Jehoiada chose 2 wives for Joash. That doesn't sound very family values to me.
Well, let's be fair here. They haven't really defined what marriage is yet.
That is true.
As far as I know, marriage means 1 man, 5,000 women.
That is true.
So,
That is true. And he had sons and daughters. At one point, Joash decided to repair and restore the temple of the Lord. He summoned the priests and Levites and gave them these instructions. Go to all the towns of Judah and collect the required annual offerings so that we can repair the temple of your God. Do not delay! ! Operators are standing by.
I don't know how I'd feel. Like, hey, we're collecting taxes for the God guy.
The God building.
Yeah, and I know King, you guys didn't really worship this guy, but this king, we're collecting taxes for this God. So give now or die.
I mean, do you have a choice?
I don't think you have a choice.
It doesn't matter how you feel about it.
No, I know it doesn't matter how you feel about it. But
this God, that God, fuck ever. Here's your fucking goats or
I'm
coins
just saying, like,
whatever.
I can understand, like, having, like, some anger at, like, having to pay for a God.
Right.
Like, it's a fucking God tax.
It is a God tax.
Yeah. Like, fuck this shit.
But the Levites did not act immediately. Uh-oh.
Like, why?
So the king called for Jehoiada, the high priest, and asked him, why haven't you demanded that the Levites go out and collect the fucking temple taxes from the towns of Judah and from Jerusalem?
Yeah.
Asshole.
Right?
Moses, the servant of the Lord, levied this tax on the community of Israel in order to maintain the tabernacle of the covenant.
Did he?
Apparently he fucking did.
Do you remember that? I don't remember that. Maybe it happened. I don't
not remember it. I mean, they did talk about tithing and shit like that.
Okay. Well, maybe then that, yeah.
And they did talk about taxes, but it also came with a lot of, after 7 years, they switched so that nobody was rich or had debt for too long.
Something like that, yeah.
It was the year of jubilation every 7 years.
Right. That was basically if you became enslaved, that you got to be freed. Because, like, if you had to give up all your own what you owned,
right,
then you could get it back at the end of that 7 years and not be a slave anymore or something.
Right.
So.
But I mean, they did talk a little bit about taxes. I don't know if he's using it exactly.
I don't think
correctly.
they said taxes.
No, no, they didn't use the word tax.
Okay.
They used the words like levy and tithe and I forget what else.
All right.
But anyways, whatever.
I'll allow for it.
Contribution.
yeah.
Over the years, the followers of wicked Athaliah had broken into the temple of God, and they had used all the dedicated things from the temple of the Lord to worship the images of Baal.
You better wash those things. It's probably nasty.
How do you worship an image? Do you look at it and go, oh.
Well, I mean, I guess you could compare it to like the posters of your favorite, girl or boy that you put on your wall,
I mean, that's nasty to think about. I'm just saying,
like, they didn't have like live pictures back then, right?
Right.
And some of these fucking gods, they had, tits and shit hanging out and, wings just swinging in the wind and all kinds of shit. So,
I guess. Do you think that they were masturbating to the images of Baal?
I mean, sometimes the things that they describe that these other gods, were party to, it sounds maybe like they did maybe a little bit.
Did you ever have posters on your wall when you were a teenager?
I did not, actually.
I had posters on my wall when I was a teenager, but I did not masturbate to them because I just wasn't, like, really comfortable with my body and stuff.
Right.
But I had all kinds. You know what? More posters I had were, like, the unicorns. Like, there was a black unicorn looking back over its shoulder, and it had that phrase, do not walk ahead of me, for I may not follow. Do not walk behind me, for I may not lead, or whatever. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
That's cute.
I know, right? I always thought that was so inspirational.
I can't remember one poster I ever hung in my room.
There were also, like, there was this whole series of art posters that came out for a while. It was like, when I describe it, it's going to sound like Lisa Frank, but it was not Lisa Frank. It was like a dark, classy Lisa Frank. Because it was like a girl, but only half of her face. And there was like waterfalls and roses and all kinds of, like, it was artistic, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I had a lot of artsy fartsy shit on my walls now that I think about it. But I do remember also I had posters of Michael Jackson, but I didn't like the poster of Michael Jackson because it was in that style of poster where the eyes folled you no matter where you were standing.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy. And now looking back, knowing what we know now, it's really creepy.
So when I was in my early 20s, the only thing I really hung, I did hang some pictures on the wall at that point, but it was like indie bands that I followed, so that was like really cool.
Indie bands, because once they got popular, you didn't like them anymore.
That's exactly.
I know, and you tore them off the wall. You're too popular for me. I can't like you anymore.
I got to be honest with you. Most of the bands that I followed back then, minus like a couple, never became popular. So I had to,
of course. So instead of celebrating their success, you were like, I hate you now.
What, the ones that became popular?
Yeah.
That's not entirely true. I still like Modest Mouse, and they became somewhat popular.
That's true.
Just saying. True. Yeah.
But you like them a little bit less once they become popular.
Maybe, yeah.
You do.
I mean, it's just part of who I am, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're kind of an asshole.
I don't know.
I like pop music. I don't even care.
Right.
Whatever.
No, I know. You and I in music are just like,
oh man,
oil and water.
We're so opposite when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, there's a few songs, like we both love Tom Petty, and we also both have all the feels with I'm Not Ready to Make Nice by the band formerly known as the Dixie Chicks.
Right.
That song gives both of us all the feels.
Definitely.
So we're not totally opposite.
Yeah, no, not totally opposite.
Okay, sorry, I know we just went off.
Yeah.
So let's get back to this.
Back to the Bible.
So now, they were telling us about how the people were worshiping images of unicorns and Michael Jackson. Right. So now the king ordered a chest to be made and set outside the gate leading to the temple of the Lord.
Okay.
Then a proclamation was sent throughout Judah and Jerusalem, both, telling the people to bring to the Lord the tax that Moses, the servant of God, had required of all the Israelites in the wilderness.
So the king's like, the Levites aren't going to collect it, so I'm just going to make you bring it to me?
Yeah. I'm going to get this tax.
Okay.
He's like, tax hard.
Yeah.
This pleased all the leaders and the people, and they gladly brought their money and filled the chest with it. Whenever the chest became full, the Levites would carry it to the king's officials.
I struggle believing that people were happy and glad to give
up
their stuff.
They loved being slaves. They loved working hard. They loved giving up all their money. Just like today, people love to work hard. They love the responsibility of working double shifts and not having any days off. Like, the railroad workers are very, very happy that now they get one day off a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody loves a job. That's what the rich people always tell me, that Americans just want to work. They like to work.
Yeah.
They like to work hard. They're proud of the work they do.
I mean, I think we aren't given much of a choice, really.
I think that they're full of shit. And I think that if they're like, yeah, I love putting in a hard day's work, I think that their idea of a hard day's work and a poor person's idea of a hard day's work is completely different.
Oh, I totally agree.
So I don't think that they actually like putting in a hard day's work.
Right.
Because their hard day's work involves wearing a suit and sitting at a computer or around a conference table, or, they have Starbucks all the time.
Right.
I don't think that they scrub toilets, and I don't think that they do heavy lifting and manual labor.
Right.
So I don't think they actually like putting in a hard day's work. Not that you have
to do that to do hard work.
No, but I'm just saying.
But it is different types of work.
Yeah,
sure.
But don't tell me that you enjoy putting in a day's hard work. I know that you don't. You don't. The reason I know that is because you call it work, not fun.
Right.
And if you enjoyed it, you would do it whether you were getting paid or not.
Right.
That would make it not work. But you called it work, therefore it is automatically not fun.
Correct.
That's all there is.
Okay.
Then the court secretary and an officer of the high priest would come and empty the chest and take it back to the temple again. And everybody was totally honest. I thought they just said the Levites did that. Well, yeah, the Levites take it to the king's officials.
Oh.
And then the court secretary and a high priest secretary person would come and get it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nobody took any coins.
Nobody, yeah.
Not a one.
They were all
on the up and up.
Very capable.
Very capable.
Money counters.
I want a t-shirt that just says very capable.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make that. Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
It's like somebody wearing the one shirt that just says university on it.
Right.
I love that. This went on day after day, and a large amount of money was collected, which, that makes sense if it was filled up multiple times.
Right, yeah.
The king and Jehoiada, the priest that actually made him king, gave the money to the construction supervisors, who hired masons and carpenters to restore the temple of the Lord.
That's great.
They paid for work.
Maybe.
Awesome.
Or they had slaves.
Probably that
one. One of the two.
They also hired metal workers who made articles of iron and bronze for the Lord's temple. The men in charge of the renovation worked hard and made steady progress because they were very capable.
Yeah.
They restored the temple of God according to its original design and strengthened it.
Well, that's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay for the city of David or whatever.
Temple of the Lord.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
When all the repairs were finished, they brought the remaining money to the king and Jehoiada. Whoa, they said they had extra.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Crazy. They weren't like, let's build a pool and a golf course.
Right.
It was used to make various articles for the temple of the Lord, articles for worship services, and for burnt offerings, including ladles and other articles made of gold and silver.
Okay.
And the burnt offerings were sacrificed continually in the temple of the Lord during the lifetime of Jehoiada the priest.
But just Jehoiada the priest.
Just Jehoiada the priest. It does not talk about what Joash did once
Joash is waiting for Jehoiada to kick it so he can be like, man,
party!
We are going to go party.
Yeah. Jehoiada the priest lived to a very old age, finally dying at 130.
Jesus.
That is a long life. That is a
really old age.
Yikes. He was buried among the kings in the city of David because he had done so much good in Israel for God and his temple.
Man, that's some high praise.
Yeah, it is. But after Jehoiada's death, the leaders of Judah came and bowed before King Joash and persuaded him to listen to their advice. Wait, the leaders of Judah? I thought we were in Judah.
We are.
Okay. Oh, so, that's right. That's right.
These are like the other. This is like the cabinet or something.
Yeah. So the bad guys in their own land came and were like, "Hey, now that the priest is gone,
we should do things this way.
Bad things."
Right.
They decided to abandon the temple of the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and they worshipped Asherah poles and idols instead! ! Yeah. This is where we get our peep shows and our titty bars.
I don't think Joash was very well versed in being a loyal God servant person.
To be so easily switched after so many years.
Right.
He's decades, almost 40 years. He's been a good king, right? Doing what he's supposed to do.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, after almost 40 years, he's like, nah, fuck it.
I feel like Jehoiada was actually the one in charge.
Yeah, probably.
And this kid was just like,
he was sitting in the background seething.
Right.
Because he's like not really the king.
Right.
Because of this sin, divine anger fell on Judah and Jerusalem. Yet the Lord sent prophets to bring them back to him.
That was nice. He didn't just punish them?
No, he sent punishment, but then he was like, just kidding.
Right.
The prophets warned them, but still the people would not listen. The people.
Right.
The people following their king.
The people were gladly giving their money to God.
Yeah.
According to this chapter.
Yeah.
So apparently they, just switched everything up as soon as... See, to me, it's the king causing the problem. Yeah. Or the leadership causing the problem. It's not the fucking people.
No.
The people are just the poor saps in the middle
that are
of all this shit.
Being forced to follow their king.
Right.
Then the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, son of Jehoiada the priest.
Oh, man.
He stood before the people and said, "This is what God says. Why y'all disobey the Lord's commands and keep yourselves from prospering? You have abandoned the Lord, and now he, guess what, has abandoned you." Boom. Feel it.
Yeah.
Then the leaders plotted to kill Zechariah, and King Joash ordered that they stone him to death in the courtyard of the Lord's temple.
Wow.
Joash was like, that'll be enough of that.
Right.
I already had to...
why would you, if somebody's telling you could prosper doing it another way, why would you stone them? Why wouldn't you just listen to them and be like, hey, let's prosper like we were,
I don't know, maybe for the same reason that today we're like, hey, let's have healthcare for everybody, and everybody gets their student loans paid off, and let's be actually a beautiful country that gives a lot, and everybody could be richer.
So my point is that somebody was profiting just fine, and it was the kings and the people that were higher up.
And they were like, I'm not trying to hear that.
Right.
I don't want everybody to be rich, only me.
Right.
Yeah. That was how King Joash repaid Jehoiada for his loyalty, by killing his son. Zechariah's last words as he died were, "May the Lord see what they are doing and avenge my death." That is not what Jesus said when he died.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Jesus said something along the lines of, "Forgive them for their dumbasses."
Right.
Yeah. They know not what they do?
Right.
I think they know exactly what the fuck they do.
Right.
I refuse to believe in the They're just stupid and foolish. No, they're greedy and they're fuckfaces.
Right.
Sorry, I'm not buying it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
They're greedy bastards. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Yep.
In the spring of the year, the Aramean army, guess what they did?
They went to war.
You know why?
Because it's spring.
Because it's spring. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They marched against Joash. Oh, shit. Okay. Here come the Arameans.
Yeah.
They invaded Judah and Jerusalem and killed all the leaders of the nation. Good, whatever. Then they sent all the plunder back to their king in Damascus. Although the Arameans attacked only with only a small army, the Lord helped them conquer the much larger army of Judah. The Lord was picking sides again.
Yeah. This time. Yeah. Not always, sometimes. Right. But this time. He's like, I'm going to let them win. Na boo boo. Right.
The people of Judah had abandoned the Lord, the God of their ancestors. So judgment was carried out against Joash. The Arameans withdrew, leaving Joash severely wounded.
But so they killed all the leaders, but they left Joash alive.
Yeah, but listen to this.
Okay.
His own officials plotted to kill him for murdering the son of Jehoiada the priest.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I thought his officials are the ones that were telling him not to listen to.
They were.
God. But
now his own officials are like, we done fucked up, I guess.
All right.
So he told us to kill Jehoiada and his son Zechariah, so now let's kill him.
Sure.
Because that was we shouldn't have done that.
Right.
They assassinated him as he lay in bed. Very brave, these assassins.
Yep.
Then he was buried in the city of David, but not in the royal cemetery.
Oh, he got the shit treatment.
He got the middle finger, and I'm sure he cared.
Right.
Being dead and all.
You're right, yeah.
Here's the thing. He's either in heaven and doesn't care, in hell and doesn't have time to care, or does not exist at all because he died and nothing happens to you when you're dead. Either way, he doesn't fucking care where you buried him.
Right.
The assassins were Josachar, the son of an Ammonite woman named Shemeath, and Jehozabad, the son of a Moabite woman named Shomer. The account of the sons of Joash, the prophecies about him, and the record of his restoration of the temple of God are written in...
that fucking book.
Those fucking books. His son Amaziah became the next king. The end.
Wow. So he still got his descendant to go take the crown, huh?
Yep.
Like, they got destroyed. And then they're like, but we're still good enough to just keep going on.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess kings are going to be shitty, and...
King's gonna king.
I mean, it's the same story we had before.
Old. Just a little bit more detail. Yep.
Or less detail sometimes.
Even when they're good, they still, like, in the last 10 years of their life, suddenly develop bad habits.
It's like, it's the same shit we read before.
Yep.
Okay, but, whatever.
I can't be bothered to care.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about the posters on my wall, quite honestly.
All right. That was 2 Chronicles chapter 24.
Sure as fuck was.
I should say this real quick. Remember.
The 5th of November?
No. We're doing this to read the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're doing this to read the Bible.
We are doing this to read the Bible.
Because I think sometimes here lately we've been a little bit like, we've heard these stories before.
Yeah.
We have. Boring.
You're right.
And they are boring.
And normally it's me saying, don't forget our main goal is just to get through the Bible. So good on you.
Right.
Good on you for bringing me back.
Yeah.
So we're getting through this, you guys.
We're doing it. We're getting there.
Doing it.
We're moving right along.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 24. And tomorrow we'll be back with...
2 Chronicles chapter 25.
We'll
Woohoo!
see you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah, Joash wasn't really the ruler for a while because Jehoiada was calling the shots and that fucker died.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't say that, but...
Right.
That's our guess.
And then little Joash took over and he was like getting down with the Asherah poles and shit.
As soon as Jehoiada died.
Right.
So, yeah.
He's like, fuck this shit, I'm partying.
Like, reading between the lines, it was almost like Joash was just pacing, waiting for Jehoiada to kick it.
Ding dong, Jehoiada's dead, man.
Which is sad for,
Jehoiada.
The people of Israel or Judah. The people of Judah.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Unless they were the ones that wanted to get down on the chair poles, too.
I think that they wanted to do whatever makes their king not kill them.
Right. That's usually what I would probably opt for.
I mean, that's my guess.
Right. So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 24.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're going to be reading
2 Chronicles chapter 25.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 25.
Okay.
And I have to tell you, something popped into my head as soon as I saw this headline, and it's the same thing that popped in during the King's version. The headline of this is The Reign of Amaziah. Do you remember what I
Not even
said?
A little bit, no.
Okay, so it was the SpaghettiOs. It's The Reign of Amaziah. Do you remember?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
But I don't get it.
It's hooray for macaroni.
Oh, okay.
Or beefaroni or whatever.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So, do you remember now?
I mean, I remember you saying it, yes.
The Reign of
I don't remember
Amaziah.
that commercial or whatever you're referring to.
I don't know why, but The Reign of Amaziah it's the exactly perfect amount of syllables.
Got it.
Okay,
well,
sorry.
Before you get into the chapter, I should have said this in the intro, but I just wanted to say we're being pummeled by a winter storm right now. Pummeled.
Like, we were at my parents' house, and they live maybe 20 minutes away. Less than that. They're like 15 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
We got into the car, and it was like starting to drizzle, and then by the time we had like buckled up and started the car up, the temperature had dropped like 5 degrees or some shit like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like dramatic.
Yeah.
And in that 15-minute drive home, it went from rain to sleet to snow. By the time we parked, the roads were wet and it had dropped 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Now we're at about 30 degrees dropped.
Yeah. And
so.
It, according to the thing, it feels like 5 degrees outside, and I'm here to tell you, it does.
Right.
It does.
So anybody affected by this affected by this winter storm, I hope you all are staying warm.
Stay safe, stay warm, lots of blankets and heaters, and we're there with you.
And now, back to the Bible.
The Reign of Amaziah. Okay. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king. Yeah, okay. I guess he was. And he reigned. Yeah, he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. That's a long time.
That's a good long life for kings.
I bet he's a bad king.
You think he's a bad king?
I bet he is.
Okay.
His mother was Jehoiadin from Jerusalem.
I don't know. We had 2 bad kings in a row now.
You're right. And anyway, this sentence is about to cleared up.
Okay.
So yeah. I was wrong.
Okay.
Amaziah did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight.
Thank God we got a good king.
But not wholeheartedly.
I see.
He checked the box.
He was reluctant.
I mean,
good for,
not necessarily
good for
reluctant. He just was like checking the box.
Doesn't God know what's in your heart?
That's what I heard.
So like, how would if he's reluctantly doing it, then how is that boding with God? Like God would be like, dude, you're not with this, man.
I can't tell you.
You're not doing a great job here. I don't believe you.
I don't know that God actually
exists. Yeah,
well, right, but beyond that, the God in this Bible, as they're describing him, I don't know that he actually does care to read what's in people's hearts, because sometimes he turns them, sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he makes them cold-hearted, sometimes he makes them have a loving heart. I mean,
well, if you recall, he didn't even know what the fuck happened to Abel. So
right,
that was when there was like 4 people in the world.
Yeah, I think maybe he could, because sometimes he has. But
I mean, yeah,
it's either very limited or he just doesn't give a fuck.
It sounds like he just spends a lot of time like at the beach.
Yeah.
And then he pops in every once in a while like, so let's see what's going on here.
Yeah. Somebody fill me in.
Right.
Priest, go.
Cliff notes.
Report.
Notes. I need cliff notes.
Yeah. When Amaziah was well established as king, he executed the officials who had assassinated his father.
Yeah.
Even though his father was an asshat. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Does it, though?
I mean, yeah.
They made you king. You became king because those guys assassinated your father.
Right, but if they were willing to assassinate his father, they probably are willing to assassinate anybody.
I guess, but...
I mean, like, once you're a murderer, is there anything really that's stopping you from murdering again?
I suppose not.
Not having murdered somebody ever, I wouldn't know, but it seems like that's the way, like, crime escalates.
Right.
Like, once you get away with something, it makes you bold enough to think that you could do it again.
Right. And I bet their wish was not for the reign of the same family to stay in power, probably. So
right, exactly.
Regardless of how good or bad he is towards God.
He's like, nah, fuck this. So anyway, however, he did not kill the children of the assassins.
That's really nice of him. He's such an upstanding king.
I'm glad he didn't kill kids.
Yeah.
For he obeyed the command of the Lord as written by Moses in the book of the law. Parents must not be put to death for the sins of their children, nor children for the sins of their parents. Those deserving to die must be put to death for their own damn crimes.
But they can be punished for generations, according to God. Mm-hmm. 10, even.
Yeah,
like, lots
tenfold.
of generations.
Yeah, I mean, like, women today supposedly are still suffering for Eve having eaten the fucking apple.
Technically, we all are. We're all, according to the Bible, born with original sin, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Then Amaziah organized the army, assigning generals and captains for all Judah and Benjamin. He took a census.
Yeah.
And found that he had
did he ask God if he should take the census before he took it?
It doesn't say he did, but
that's a touchy subject with God.
Yeah,
sometimes,
I know. It doesn't say he did, but it also doesn't say he didn't. So I don't know. I'm gonna say he didn't, or else they would have made a point of talking about how awesome he is.
This generation, they don't care.
Right.
Okay.
God seems to care a little bit less about shit every generation.
You don't say.
So he took his census and found that he had an army of 300,000 select troops. I wonder if select means capable. Like, what is a scale?
I mean, they're select troops, so were they just selected?
And were they...
Yep, you were selected, so that you're a select troop.
Well, no, select troops and this particular use of the word is going to mean that they're... But, like, are they, like, the same as the 30 or the 3?
I doubt it. Who could be as good as the 3?
Nobody.
Right?
Nobody.
Or the 5 that are the 3.
Yeah.
Or the 30 that have the 5 that have the 3.
The 30 that have the 5. Oh my God, I couldn't even follow that. Like, that was too many words. You know I'm easy to fool. Okay, so 300,000 select troops, 20 years old and older, all trained in the use of spear and shield.
Okay.
But not machine gun.
No. That hasn't been invented yet. So
right.
That would be why.
Yep. He also paid about 7,500 pounds of silver. Not exactly that amount.
Just about.
That amount.
Approximately.
Right, of silver to hire 100,000 experienced fighting men from Israel.
I don't feel like henchmen, hired mercenaries, are the way to go when you want to fight wars.
No, they're not, because an army for hire is always for hire.
Yeah, and also notoriously, if you're losing, they're gonna just
desert,
leave,
because they're not willing to die for your cause.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna get paid if I die, so see ya.
Bye. But a man of God came to him and said, "Excuse you, your majesty, do not hire troops from Israel, stupid, for the Lord is not with Israel." Hello?
Yeah.
He will not help those people of Ephraim. If you let them go with your troops into battle, you will be defeated by the enemy no matter how well you fight. What are you, fucking stupid?
Yeah.
God will overthrow you, for he has the power to help you or to trip you up.
The question is, did he already spend the money?
That is a good question.
I mean, like, if you already spent it, then
he hired
can't
them.
Hurt anything, right?
He already hired them.
Yeah. So,
but
might as well just go ahead and send them out, and then send your troops behind them.
But if the man of God is telling you, don't fucking do it, if you've read any of the reports from previous generations, you don't do it.
Right.
When the man of God tells you that God specifically said a thing, don't you, follow that man of God?
I mean, if we're going with the Bible,
in Bible canon.
If we're going with the preacher on the street, no.
Right, exactly. Like the guy with the sandwich board ringing the bell, shouting about the end is nigh.
Did you remember I told you that I walked like half a block down the street and there was like literally people on the corner of the street. This was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, with like flyers about going to church and God and saving your soul.
On our street?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
What the fuck?
I think I wish remember.
I didn't. They were two old ladies, and I didn't want to scare them.
You didn't want to accost them,
right? And so I just went the other way. you know?
You were the bigger man.
I mean, I just, what are you supposed to do, you know? Like, yell at two old ladies on the corner of a street in a small town America?
We should have flyers made up, prepared to hand out. Like,
right.
I will exchange flyers with you.
Yeah.
You give me yours, I'll give you mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Also, I'm pro-abortion. Do you still want me to have your flyer?
Right.
So, I'm not pro-abortion, pro the right to choose abortion.
Yeah, right.
Sorry,
right.
in case there was a question.
Yeah.
Everybody should get one! That's not what I meant.
Right.
Okay. Amaziah asked the man of God, but what about all that fucking silver I paid to hire the army of Israel?
There you go.
The man of God replied, the Lord is able to give you much more than this.
Oh, is he
okay.
now?
Well, if with that promise, would you still send your men's in?
I don't know. I'd be wondering where God's getting the silver from, but, you know.
Okay, but like in Bible canon, right?
Yeah. Sure, in Bible canon, yes, you always listen to God and you always follow, but like, then they don't. So I'm like, why? If it's proven that you're going to die if you don't listen to God, why are they not listening to God? That's my consistent question going through all this is...
Clearly it wasn't proven.
Right. Clearly it's not as big of a thing as they make it out to be in the Bible, because if it was as big of a thing as they make it out in the Bible, these fucking kings would be like, oh, God, 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 God.
Yeah. There would be no fucking like, Asherah
poles, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just do
those. Molech, whatevs.
Right. No, that's bullshit. God was... Things were just happening, and there were gods that people believed in, much like today. And the reason that we hear about this is because this is the book that survived and the religion that survived.
Right.
And so they painted all this stuff in the best light they could.
And
that's that.
And they still did a really shitty job at that.
The truth of the matter is they were just medieval assholes killing each other.
It's true.
No matter which king it was.
It's true. Or which god it was, for that matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. So... Amaziah discharged the hired troops and sent them back to Ephraim. Good. Okay, good. This made them very angry with Judah, and they returned home in a great rage.
But they got their fucking money.
They got their money back.
Like, I'd be like, fuck, I got paid and I get to go home? Shit.
Right? Like, wait, I got paid to not fight.
Right?
Excellent.
Why would you be angry? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Then Amaziah summoned his courage and led his army to the Valley of Salt, where they killed 10,000 Edomite troops from Seir. They captured another 10,000 and took them to the top of a cliff and threw them off,
Jesus.
dashing them to pieces on the rocks below. That escalated quickly.
What the fuck?
That sounds like some Sparta bullshit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like, you caught 10,000 people, right? You didn't kill them?
You pushed them off a cliff?
Why did you, you kept them alive and, shackled them and then took them to the top of a cliff and threw them off of it?
You just pushed them
Why
off?
not just kill the fuckers? You're killing them anyway.
But the mess is easier to clean up. They're all in a pile over there off the cliff.
What, they're either in a cliff or a fucking, field. Who cares?
Because they want that land, probably. And so they're like, what's a good way to get these guys? I don't want to bury all these fucking people. I want this land. I do not want to bury all these fucking people. I know. There's a cliff over there. Let's just push them all off. They'll be piled up dead over there. We'll worry about the stink later.
All right.
When we invent lime and stuff like that to throw over it,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the hired troops that Amaziah had sent home raided several of the towns of Judah between Samaria and Beth Horon. They killed 3,000 people and carried off great quantities of fucking plunder.
Damn. Where's God getting you back at? It sounds like they're just walking off with some shit because you fired them.
I know, I just can't win here.
Right?
When King Amaziah returned from slaughtering the Edomites, he brought with him idols taken from the people of Seir. He set them up as his own fucking gods.
Wait, what?
Bowed down in front of them and offered sacrifices to them! Exclamation point.
I thought this guy was good with God.
It said
I thought he was
only kind of.
Yeah, but only kinda, and okay.
He's like, all right, I'll listen to God insofar as I'm not going to send these fuckers out, but I am going to worship other gods.
This is so dumb.
Oh, this is stupid. What an idiot. This made the Lord, understandably,
yeah.
very angry, and he sent a prophet to ask, excuse you? Why do you turn to gods who could not even save their own people from you? Stupid fuck. But the king interrupted him. I bet he goes, enough.
Right. Yeah.
And said, Since when have I made you the king's counselor? Be quiet now before I have you killed.
Oh, damn.
That
that
would shut my mouth. Right, yeah. He just buttered his biscuit. So the prophet stopped with this warning. So he didn't stop.
Right.
He stopped as he said.
He said one more thing.
Yeah. That's not stopping. That's saying one more thing.
Continuing, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so he stopped with this warning. I know that God is determined to destroy you because you have done this and have refused to accept my counsel. Would you bother tossing that line over your shoulder?
No, fucking king's gonna... honestly, based on what he said, he should kill him at this point.
Right?
I'm not saying that killing's good, but
the king just told you to shut your fucking mouth.
You're talking to a king who just threw 10,000 people off of a goddamn cliff.
Right?
And the people that he hired to try to help him do that just raided this town and killed 3,000 of his people.
Uh-huh.
And this dude tells his prophet guy, hey, shut the fuck up or I'm going to kill you. And the dude dares to just say one more thing.
He's like, oh yeah? Well, God's going to get you.
Just for saving face, you almost have to kill him at that point.
I know.
Right?
It's so true.
I'm just saying, if you're a king, not normal people.
I cannot believe
normal people don't have to save face by killing people.
No, right. we're always talking in Bible canon.
Right.
I just can't believe that this guy was allowed to walk out of the room even.
Right.
After consulting with his advisors, King Amaziah of Judah sent this challenge to Israel's king Jehoash, the son of Jehoaz and grandson of Jehu.
Okay.
Come and meet me in battle, bitch. But King Jehoash of Israel replied to King Amaziah of Judah with this story. Out in the Lebanon mountains, a thistle sent a message to a mighty cedar tree. Give your daughter in marriage to my son. But just then a wild animal of Lebanon came by and stepped on the thistle, crushing it. You are saying, I have defeated Edom, and you are very proud of it. But my advice is to stay the fuck at home. Why stir up trouble that will only bring you disaster on you and the people of Judah?
Right.
But Amaziah refused to listen, for God was determined to destroy him for turning to the gods of Edom. Wait, so God made him not listen?
Right, apparently. Well, no, God, he wasn't listening, so God's like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you.
Well,
so God made him ask to go to war
with
too powerful of an enemy, apparently.
Right. Yeah, that tracks.
I guess, right.
In Bible canon, sure. So King Jehoash of Israel mobilized his army against King Amaziah of Judah. The two armies drew up their battle lines at Beth Shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed by the army of Israel, and its army scattered and fled for home. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king, Amaziah, son of Joash, and grandson of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh. Okay. I hope you're paying attention. I'm not.
No, I got it. I kind
of spaced out while I was reading.
Yeah, no, the Judah king. What's his fucking name now? I can't remember.
Amaziah.
Amaziah.
Okay.
He just got captured at the battlefield.
Okay.
By the king of Israel.
Then he brought him to Jerusalem, where he demolished 600 feet of Jerusalem's wall from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
He carried off all the gold and silver and all the articles from the temple of God that had been made in the care of Obed-Edom. He also seized the treasures of the royal palace along with hostages and then returned to Samaria.
Okay.
King Amaziah of Judah lived for 15 years after the death of King Jehoash of Israel.
Got it.
The rest of the events in Amaziah's reign from beginning to end are recorded in...
Those fucking books.
But
I have a question here. Mm-hmm. So, God was going to get him back for not taking those troops with, he was going to pay him back, right? Yeah. That never happened.
That didn't happen, but to be fair, dude was like, okay, I'll listen to you, but I'm going to still worship other gods, though.
Okay, but also to be fair, we're talking about God, who's supposed to know your heart, the future, all past and present events, know, and future events, whatever.
This is where they say, but it's still free will.
So why would he claim that he's going to get him back?
Because he's giving him rope to hang himself with. The argument is he gave him the choice. If you listen to me and do what I'm telling you and follow me and do all the good, you're going to be so fucking rich. I'm going to give you lots of stuff. And the guy was like, okay, but I'm only going to kind of listen to you. And so God was like, I said, you got to totally listen.
Well, I always question why God doesn't talk to these kings instead, and he always sends some fucking prophet that they barely listen to. They're like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'll listen this time, but not next time.
If God really wanted, I mean, same thing as why he doesn't show himself today. If God really wanted to make us believe, he would reveal himself.
I mean, can you imagine if somebody walked up to you and said, God told me to tell you this, and blah, blah, blah.
I would laugh.
I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you,
I would laugh, and then I would call 911.
Right? Yeah, because I'd be worried.
Well,
you fucking nutty?
Okay, no. If somebody walks up to me and they start telling me, God told me to tell you blah, 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 I would laugh. I would call 911, not just for my safety, but because I would be worried that this person was having some kind of mental break that forced them to come talk to me, of all people.
Right.
Like, why are you even talking to me?
I mean, we do run an atheist podcast.
True. And we live across the street from a church.
Yeah.
True.
So, I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, if somebody knew who we were.
Yeah, if they knew who we were and they walked up to us and were like, God told me to tell you to stop it.
Right. But even if they didn't know who we are, if, God actually existed, then, I'm just saying, if.
I mean.
On that, I don't even have room in my heart for that if statement.
Right.
But. I'm just saying.
In Bible canon. If our life was in Bible canon.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, okay, our life is in Bible canon, and somebody walks up to us and is like, hey, I don't understand anything of these words, but God told me to tell you specifically, stop preaching what you're preaching on the air.
I mean, there's a lot of assumptions there, though.
Right.
Like, you're assuming that these things... that like there's proofs happening in the world of God, which I guess some people would claim anyway today. So the answer would still be, I'm not stopping.
Right, but would you laugh?
I would. I probably would laugh. Yeah.
And then would you call 911?
It depends on how threatened or crazy I thought the person was, I suppose.
What if the guy was like completely embarrassed and apologetic and was like, I'm really sorry. I was led to tell you these words and to deliver this message.
That would be a little bit more disturbing, actually.
Right?
I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
right?
Maybe that's how people should proselytize.
Like, embarrassed.
Right,
and
it would be maybe a little bit more effective,
Yeah, like, I don't know what this means. God told me to tell you this, and apparently it's going to mean something to you. Right. I'm really sorry.
I'm going to go on about my day.
I'm just the messenger. Please don't shoot me. I've delivered the message, and now I'm going to grocery
that would
shopping.
Be so much more effective, I feel,
right?
than how it's done.
You're gonna burn in hell, motherfucker.
Right? Yeah. No, if people just came apologetically with a message to you, that would be so much more effective. And if it was personalized,
right? Yeah. And they had no idea what it meant, but you knew what it meant.
Right.
That would kind of freak my shit out.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like if you go to a tarot card reader or a palm reader. It's like they might say something, clock, even a stop clock is right twice a day kind of thing.
At this point, it wouldn't really freak me out.
No.
Like, I feel like if we got approached, they know who we are, Because here's the thing. I got a random text from somebody, a while back, telling me how they, can I send you scripture? And I'm like, come on, really? You just out of the blue texted me asking to send scripture to somebody who runs an atheist fucking podcast. I said, I'll tell you what. Do you want my atheist podcast? And they're like, no thanks. And I'm like, okay, great, have a great day.
Yeah, I don't need scripture. I'm already reading the fucking Bible.
But I call bullshit. They had the number that I used that they texted it to is the one that I actually have attached to some things for the podcast.
Got it.
So I call bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like that was directly intentionally directed at us.
At your podcast, not at you personally.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
That's interesting.
Did you have anything? Are we done?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm
sorry. After Amaziah turned away from the Lord, there was a conspiracy against his life in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But his enemies sent assassins after him, and they killed him there.
Apparently, he didn't kill enough assassins. Man.
And also, he did not listen to God enough, because not only didn't he get rewarded, he got murdered.
Well, there's another dumbass.
They brought his body back on a horse. I went through the desert on a horse with no name.
Yeah.
Felt good to be out of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it goes?
Sure.
I get quieter when I'm not sure of the lyrics. And he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David.
Okay.
It doesn't say that
it doesn't say ceremonially or like in the...
But it doesn't say that, but he wasn't buried with the good ones.
Right, it just says he was buried there.
So what do you think?
I think they're leaving that one up because he was good and bad, right?
It's ambiguous.
So maybe he was buried at the edge of the cemetery.
They were like, sometimes...
I don't know. Where should we put... Let's put... Well, there's a spot over there by that oak at the corner.
That's going to be the maybe.
Yeah.
The maybes, the kind ofs, the half-asses.
Just throw his ass over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, really, we could throw him off a cliff and it ain't going to matter, right?
Right. All right. Well, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 25.
Sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow is Saturday, and we'll be back with...
Saturday Q&A.
And then on Sunday, I think we're planning on doing like a Christmas special-ish type thing. So again, we're kind of skipping book club this week and our Patreon. Well, maybe not entirely. We'll see.
We might do a Patreon, but it's going to depend. There's winter storms happening. There's Christmas. There's family gatherings. There's a kid who may be with us or not based on the weather. There's a lot of things. A lot of stuff up in the air. But I got Hallmark Christmas movies to watch.
But we'll have something.
We'll have something.
So we will see you guys then, and we'll be back on Monday again with
2 Chronicles chapter 26.
All right, we will see you guys later.
Bye. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and all that good stuff.
Happy Saturnalia.
I don't know that one any better than any of the others, honestly. Yeah, I know, right? Happy winter.
Or wait, what's the
Yule?
No, the one that was made up on Seinfeld.
Festivus for the rest of us?
Yeah, the Happy Festivus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway,
all the things.
Y'all have a good time and stay warm and shit.
Stay warm and safe.
All right. Bye.
Husband.
Wife.
Do you know what today is?
It's late on Saturday.
Yeah, so we are late doing our Q&A Saturday.
I mean, to be fair, it is the holiday, weekendy thing, whatever this is.
Today's Christmas Eve.
And a fuck ton of snow fell here, and it was cold as just fucking balls.
Balls. Cold as balls.
Yeah.
Colder than a witch's tit.
Yeah.
Colder than...
anything that you can think that's cold.
Seventh circle of hell.
That's not cold. It's supposed to be hot.
No, actually, if you read Dante's Inferno.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's cold.
Different circles of hell are different.
I think cold would be worse than hot.
Probably.
Like, if I had to spend an eternity in hell, I'd be more scared of one that was freezing ass cold than one that was burning ass hot.
Because burning ass hot, you just gonna melt.
I mean, yeah, right?
Right?
At least you're warm, Not freezing your balls off.
I don't know about that. I think either one is going to be painful.
Yeah.
Actually, dying of cold would be better because you lose sense of your extremities and you don't realize that you're dying.
You just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to die one way or the other,
right,
cold might be better.
I guess.
Don't recommend either.
No.
Let's neither.
But let's just say it was uncomfortably warm or uncomfortably cold. Which would you rather have?
I don't know at this point. I'm old, so I'm kind of like I don't want either.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Yeah, I don't want either. Yeah.
Let's just not.
I'm just saying, like if you had to pick one.
Oh. Okay, well if you're hot, you can only take off so much clothing.
True.
But if you're cold, you can always pile on more.
Let's just say either way you didn't have any clothes to put on.
So I'm walking around naked, either hot or cold.
Right, yeah.
I burn really easily because I'm kind of pale.
So you're gonna go with cold, huh?
I don't know. That's what I'm telling you.
Got it.
I can't pick. What would you choose? Obviously,
I'd go hot. Yeah.
Yeah. You burn easily too, though.
I do, but I hate the fucking cold. Cold is stupid.
I just want to be inside on my couch.
Yeah.
Under an Afghan with a nice book.
Now, I will say this,
movie.
With the ability to have clothes, I would rather, it be colder than hotter.
Mm-hmm.
But, in the normal world, the normal world. But, man, when it is this cold.
It is cold. Man. It is not good.
It's miserable. All right. So anyway, we're rambling here. Yeah. So we're doing the Saturday Q&A.
Yes. Over 2 Chronicles chapters 21 through 25.
Okay. And do you have anything? Did you want to say anything about what we're covering? Or?
I was going to talk about the city of David.
The city of David, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, where all them kings are buried?
Right.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into this and find out about those dead kings.
Let's.
All right.
Okay, so City of David.
Yeah.
What do you know about it?
It's a city that's named David.
Right, but do you know anything else about it?
No.
Okay, so neither did I, and that's
Okay.
why I was like, I wonder if this thing still exists. There are questions as to its whereabouts.
Okay.
Because, thousands of years ago.
Sure.
And they believe that they have found it, but there's arguments about it.
So it's not a current city that's still active.
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
There's also questions about the buried kings, the cemetery.
Right.
There are a couple of archaeological digs that have maybe come across stuff that might be it, and that kind of lends to maybe this was the City of David, because they said that they were buried in the house or buried in, the royal cemetery, right?
Yeah, right.
And back then they would bury people like under their house. That's
really
like a mausoleum. Like a lot of rich people in other countries do that.
Got it.
Game of Thrones style.
Sure.
Kind of thing,
Yep.
So, there's all these questions and arguments and archaeological digs. So that's the science and geography side of it, okay?
Okay.
Basically, the answer is, maybe.
Right.
I mean, it did exist.
Okay. So historically, they know that it existed.
Mm-hmm. And there are clues and hints that we might know where it is, but nothing definitive.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
Now here's the fun side.
Okay.
So there is a tourism park that is called the City of David that you can actually go visit.
Okay.
And I'm on their homepage currently. And this thing is amazing. They have 2 different languages, one of which is English. So
sure.
You go to their website, and this wasn't hard to find. I typed in City of David. It's even linked to as the official, quote unquote, official site from Wikipedia. As one of the, when it shows the outer sources or whatever. So, I mean, this is not like something that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. This was very easy to find, okay? I found it twice. Once through just a simple Google search and once through Wikipedia.
Got it.
Okay? So I'm on their website, and I changed to English because obviously it pops up to the local language of the area.
Sure.
And we've got tours and attractions, visitor information, news and events, okay? And I thought, what all do you get? And how much does this cost? And I mean, I was like just entranced with this. What all happens there? Okay, so if you go to tours and attractions, right? You get a what's it called? You get a price list.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, oh yes, I must know, how much does it cost to get into the City of David?
Right.
Right? So there's an entrance fee, and it's all listed in NIS, which is the local dollar.
Israeli dollar or something?
Yeah, it's like the national Israeli, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But
I think they call it the shekel now, so.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's is the national Israeli shekel, NIS. That's what it is.
Okay.
And so to get the biblical City of David guided tour for an adult is 65 shekels, which converts to American dollars, $18.55. So for less than $20, you can get in.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there are private tour guide prices for various minutes, from anywhere from 2 hours up to the expert guide of 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that costs 1,350 shekels.
Okay.
Which comes to, hold on, let me
do the math.
Yeah, do the math. I did this earlier and just took screenshots so that I could reference it quickly.
Gotcha.
$385 and change.
Okay.
So for $385, we can get in and get a 4-hour expert guided biblical tour of the City of David.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just was
I'm assuming this
what?
is like a recreated version of the City of David, or what is this?
Well, there's different sites that they show you. Let me just do the tour here, okay? So now we've got our tickets. Here's the hours of operation.
Okay.
I mean, this is like a theme park.
Okay.
Okay. The park is open during the winter, so currently for us.
Yeah.
Although, isn't it like opposite season on that side of the world? No? Okay, no. I don't remember. Oh, I'm thinking like east and west versus north and south.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Australia is in
definitely Australia
the upside down.
Yeah.
Okay. So the winter schedule. So right now, the park is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
Except for the water system, I'll get to that in a minute, is only open till 3. Okay. And then that's Sunday through Thursday. On Fridays.
Wait, they're open on Sundays?
Mm-hmm. Because their Sabbath is Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's right.
Their holy day is not Sunday. You're thinking Christian America,
my
not Jewish.
I apologize.
Other countries.
I apologize.
Yeah. And so that's Sunday through Thursday. Fridays they're only open 8 to 2, and the water system is only available till noon. Okay. Now the summer schedule a little bit later, but we're not in summer, so who cares about that, right?
Yeah, because we're gonna go tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we can, right?
I guess.
I'm just like, let's go. Okay, so let's look at the tours and attractions, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, so you get to scroll down this list, and they have various activities. So there's Hallelujah, and that park is open right now. And it is the performance at the City of David, now lighting up the night again. Hallelujah, the beloved nighttime show that offers visitors a fascinating nighttime experience in a light show projected directly onto the ruins of the City of David, has been renewed with fascinating content and pyrotechnics using effects of fire and water for a breathtaking experience. So that was Hallelujah. Okay. Now we've got history comes to life with the tours of biblical Jerusalem. Journey through the underground tunnels through which the city was conquered and residents fled. Go down to the hidden spring where kings were coronated. Explore the underground mysteries of Hezekiah's tunnel, where water has flowed since the time of the prophets.
Hezekiah's tunnel, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. None of this, did any of this spark, some new rabbit holes for you? Because that sparks a thought for me there.
Just hang on.
Okay.
Join the mysterious magical journey between ancient shafts. You said shafts. Walls and fortresses at the City of David, the place where Jerusalem began.
Okay.
And new, the Spring Tower presentation. We invite you to feel the story of the Gihon Spring in a multi-sensory presentation, which will draw you into the past, moments before your entrance into the water system. Entrance to the presentation is included in the ticket price.
Okay.
You get to touch the water. But
great.
What I read is that the water, due to the changing water system, how water flows differently over time.
Yeah.
It's no longer naturally pumped. It's no longer natural. It's now manually pumped in.
Got it.
So there's that. That's the water thing.
Right.
So there's a fucking water park. Let's see. You get a panoramic view of the surrounding area. You get to engage in a palace excavation, and you get to see the royal Acropolis and remnants of the remarkable homes from the big capital letters biblical period. Yeah, the underground water system from the time of Abraham, including recent discoveries of the Canaanite fortress that guarded ancient Jerusalem's main water source, the Gihon Spring.
Wow.
Right? Walk to lantern lights through the famous Hezekiah's tunnel, the Shiloah tunnel. Complete water track. Walk through the dry Canaanite tunnel for those who prefer the dry track. Okay. I know you are just so excited about this.
I mean, no.
No?
No.
Okay, here's some news and events. Don't you want to hear?
Are we an advertising campaign for the City of David theme park or what?
Because this is all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all fucking bullshit, but I still want to go. They recently discovered the biblical earthquake. You will flee as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, which is from Zechariah chapter 14, which we haven't got to yet.
Right.
But there's a famous earthquake. The famous earthquake, which occurred in Israel about 2,800 years ago, appears in the Bible and was previously exposed in several sites throughout Israel. But researchers believe that for the first time, they were able to identify remnants of destruction, indicating that the earthquake also hit Jerusalem, the capital of Judah.
I mean, earthquakes do travel a bit, so...
Yeah. But that news, I was like, I never read that anywhere but this park.
Well, I mean, it might be somewhere. Who knows? But
yeah. So
we didn't do a lot of research, did we?
I didn't do a lot of research because I was looking up, but where is it and does it exist?
Right.
And the park is the only thing.
I see.
So that's why I started with the facts, which the facts are, we don't know where the city of David is located.
Okay.
They put a park where it could have been located.
Got it.
It might have been there. Who knows?
Right.
And there were also some recent digs that discover, I already said that, the kings and stuff.
Yeah.
There's also these like really cool steps that may or may not have been there since the time of David, but most archaeologists think that these steps were probably a few hundred to a few thousand years after the time of David.
A few hundred to a few thousand.
Sure.
Huh? Okay.
Sure.
All right. Sure.
Still old, but not like, Bible old.
Well, if we're talking a few thousand, then that would be like present day.
Oh, yeah, I guess not a few thousand.
Yeah.
A few hundred years off, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, anyway, I thought that was fun. So, does the city of David exist? Yes, it does. Do we know where it is?
Yes, it did.
No, we don't.
It's a different story.
Correct. Right.
Was
it a real city? Yes, it was. Do we know where it is? No, we don't.
Okay. But we know where the fucking theme park is.
We sure as fuck do.
Okay.
And does wife want to go?
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does.
Does husband want to go?
No, he does not.
No, he doesn't.
I thought it would be fun.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean,
get it.
Let's say that we're like, on our fucking tour of the world with our podcast, right?
Yeah.
And we're in the area.
Obviously, this is one that we have to hit. Yeah.
Right? If we're in the area,
yeah.
Why wouldn't we go to the fucking theme park?
We also have to go to the Ark thing that's right down the street from us, basically. Oh, my God. Not down the street.
I don't want to go to the Creation Museum.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to, and you do.
I don't want to. I feel like we have to. I feel like we have to go in there as atheist podcasters, and we have to see it for our own eyes.
I am dreading that because I know you're going to make me go at some point.
I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do it. Maybe we should see if any other listeners that live in like the Dayton, Kentucky area want to go.
Yeah.
And then just make a thing of it. We'll go down as a group,
I would only want to go if we could promise ahead of time that none of us are going to be obnoxious. Because I'm not trying to get thrown out.
I do want to. I do want to see. Yeah, this isn't a confrontational thing. I just want to see it so I can make fun of it afterwards.
Right.
And definitely get some pictures and shit.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not trying to convert anybody on the premises because that's a lost cause.
Pointless. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody that is interested in going with us to the Ark, we would love to get together for coffee before we go down there and then all go as a group. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Maybe we should put that on our spring list of bucket list things we want to do.
Yeah, we should put an event up.
Year.
We should make an event.
Yeah.
And sometime in the spring or summer this coming year, we ought to go down to the fucking Creation Museum.
All right.
Yeah?
All right.
And anybody that wants to come with us, they can come with us.
I definitely want to get a lunch out of this. I feel like I am owed a lunch.
You think
at
so?
That point. Yeah.
I'll buy you a fucking lunch. Okay. You know what? I bet even one of our followers that come down might even buy you lunch.
No, I'm not asking them to buy me lunch.
I'm just saying they probably. No. Yeah, they probably would though.
I want you to buy me lunch.
Okay. What do you want for lunch?
I don't know what's in the area.
We're driving down. You can have lunch anywhere you want to have lunch.
I mean, it would be horrible.
Wait. No, if we're going to the Ark thing, don't we have to go and eat food at the Ark?
Oh yeah,
we'd have to go to their thing. They've got. I'm sure they've got a thing.
Maybe they have a Chick-fil-A on the premises. Oh my.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So that was our Q&A for today?
That was my Q&A because I couldn't really find
kind of a piss poor Q&A.
It was fun.
It was okay.
It was a lot of fun. For $385, we will get a 4-hour expert guided tour.
A 4-hour tour.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's $100 per hour.
I'd have to come up with a song for that.
That song already exists.
I know, but not the version of King David 4-hour tour.
Oh my God. You're an idiot.
I'm just saying I got to come up with new words for the song. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that was our Q&A for today.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be back with our replay tomorrow. I'm thinking as I'm saying.
I know.
And we're probably going to have we think we're going to have a Christmas special.
We think.
It's still in the works.
It's still Saturday night, Christmas Eve, and we got to think about what we're going to do.
And just in case there was any question about it, yes, we kind of suck.
Oh, I don't think anybody ever doubted that.
No.
I think all of our listeners and fans know that
they just listened to an entire long episode advertisement for the King of David theme park, so...
I mean, you gotta know I was reading all that shit with tongue in cheek, right?
Right. No, I get it.
But I do want to go though.
Right.
Not lying. I do want to go.
We didn't really learn anything today other than...
We learned that there's a theme park there.
We did. We learned that there's a theme park somewhere that the city of David might have been.
Probably not though.
Probably not though.
Is my guess.
That's my guess too.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. Well, anyway... That was Q&A Saturday for chapters 21 through 25, Second Chronicles, and we'll see you guys for whatever comes next.
Yes, and happy Christmas to everybody who celebrates it, and happy winter, stay warm for everybody else, ?
Happy Festivus, happy Saturnalia, happy whatever the hell you celebrate or don't celebrate. Happy fuck off day. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, have a nice everything.
I'm not telling you to fuck off. I'm just saying, whatever. Just... Maybe today's the day you fuck off, You're...
Today's the day I have decided to fuck off.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Treat each other well, be warm, etc.
Right. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Saturnalia.
Yeah. Do you know what we're going to be talking about today?
I think you said we're talking about Santa.
We're talking about Santa.
Yeah.
Is he naughty or is he nice?
Is he real or is he not?
Should we tell the children?
That's a great question.
That's what this episode's about.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into it then.
Okay. Okay. Before we get into what the research says.
Okay.
Tell me your thoughts about Santa and how you feel about it and what Santa was like in your childhood and how we deal with Santa with our kids.
Well, that's a big lot of questions you just asked me there.
How do you feel about Santa?
I'm going to start with my childhood.
Okay.
In my childhood, I had fond memories of Christmas, and we did lots of things around Christmas time, went and saw lights and did caroling and had family get-togethers, and, Santa was definitely part of that. Mm-hmm. And
did you go to see Santa?
Maybe a couple of times. Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. It wasn't something that, sticks out in my memory exactly. But I do recall that we started questioning things pretty early on, and we were... I think it started with the tooth fairy because we caught our parents, putting something under our pillows, and then and then it fell apart when we started finding Christmas gifts that came from Santa because we were the kids that looked for our Christmas gifts.
You were such little assholes.
Yeah. So
seriously, you guys were assholes.
But I guess personally, and I didn't grow up in a religious household. So it wasn't part of the big, there wasn't a big to do except for, once a year Santa came, right?
Right.
So what fell apart for me was the person who brought the gifts. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, well, it's my parents. Okay, whatever.
Right. Did you feel betrayed when you found out?
I really didn't.
What liars! I can never trust them again, those fuckers!
I gotta say I didn't. But then again, and I qualified this because it wasn't part of a big religious rigmarole that we went through every year.
Right.
It was just Santa. That's it.
Right.
We had these weird things that were just things, and that's all they were.
What weird things? What do you mean?
Tooth fairy.
Easter
Bunny. Santa. Whatever. All the fairy tale,
holiday
mythological, holiday related figures that pop up in people's lives, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me that he wasn't real. Not that I recall.
So let me tell you my upbringing with Santa, okay?
Okay.
Santa was a big fucking deal when we were kids.
Yeah.
And part of it is because my dad was in the Air Force and he worked shift work, and sometimes, he got sent away on TDY, so he wasn't always home. So Christmas was not necessarily always on December 25th for us. It was when Dad could be present for it.
Sure.
And it was a big deal because, we planned family time around Dad being home to do Christmas.
Yeah.
So Christmas for us was more about family than the date on the calendar or whatever religious stuff might be related to it. Because we weren't raised religious either.
Right.
But my mom and dad, they went a long way to make us believe in Santa. I can remember one year my mom put some powder down on the ground and then used one of my dad's combat boots.
Wow.
To put a footprint in the powder. Now, there wasn't even any snow. I know this now.
Right.
So I'm like, why would Santa? But obviously Santa brought the snow with him.
Yeah, from the North Pole.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right. And another time they had I think they did crumpled up Oreos or something as coal.
Right.
That they left just a little trail.
Sure.
And just fun stuff like that, right?
Right.
And I have no idea when we stopped actually believing that Santa was magical. But here's the thing. My parents never came out and admitted, fact on fact, there is no such thing as Santa and we are Santa.
Right.
Because when asked, they always said, and I love this, and this is what I've always said to our kids, Santa is as real as you want him to be, because Santa is about the magic of Christmas and love and giving and being together with your family.
Right.
And that was the best possible way that they could say, of course he doesn't exist, stupid.
Right.
But play along because it's fucking fun. And we always did and we always have.
Sure.
And that's what I always told my kids.
Yep.
And I just love that because it's fun and, you get to play along with your parents.
Right. I think, and I'm only gauging this on my upbringing. I don't feel like, introducing this figment of your imagination into a holiday festival type thing does. I could be wrong. I don't feel like it does a lot of harm though if it's done correctly. But I also at the same time recognize that it is part of a larger thing, which is religion, that does do harm and can, with the whole bit that goes along with it, cause even more harm.
And the whole consumerism part of it, of gift.
Well, and that, I think, so my parents, there was a couple of years where we did homemade gifts for Christmas and stuff like that we did family get-togethers, and it was all homemade gifts. So, I mean, it wasn't like that every year, and obviously that's not what we do anymore, but we try, my family tried to make it about giving
and family
and the right thing, and family, than more so than about consumerism and religion.
Right.
So
no, totally. I think our family did it differently than yours, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that the reasoning was the same, to put a big emphasis on family and loving each other.
Right.
And making it that one time of year when you focus on trying to be around each other and enjoy each other's company.
And that's where I take issue with it. That one time a year.
Right.
Well,
it's when I say that one time of year when we focus on it, that doesn't mean that you don't be that way or that you shouldn't be that way all the time.
Right.
But it is good to have, I think. I think that we should always be good to each other. But I also think that it is good to have an annual reminder of, hey, that thing you're supposed to do all year round?
Right.
Actually focus on it. It's kind of like Thanksgiving and the whole gratitude thing, how it's become so gross.
Yeah.
And I hate seeing people's gratitude fucking posts every November.
Right.
But on the same token, I think it is good to have an annual remembrance of, hey, you should be grateful every day. You should find a reason to be happy every day. But definitely this time period, we're going to focus on it, just in case you forgot.
Got it.
So I think it's like you said, it should always be there, but it's become gross.
I don't know. I struggle with this one in my head. I don't really...
the back and forth.
I'm not as much pro Santa as you are.
Well,
but
I have nostalgia related to it.
Yeah.
So let's see what some of the research says. Okay, I'll start with the bad. Okay.
Sure.
There's parents question the morality of telling an extended lie to their children.
Yeah.
Which, could erode trust.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
It also raises concerns regarding whether their children will lose trust in them once they discover the truth, which is what I just said.
Yeah.
And then there's also, what about kids who are neurodivergent, who are maybe on the autism spectrum? They require specific and targeted understanding of truth and fact versus imagination and fantasy.
Right.
And that makes it really hard for them to discern, what is real.
Right.
Then there's the race factor as well, which many see Santa as just another white male that we're forcing children to obey.
Right.
And, speaking of the race factor, there's a bunch of people that are like, Santa's white. And it's like, he's imaginary. He's whatever.
He's whatever you want him to be.
Yeah. He's every race.
Right.
He's all the races.
Right.
He's the best of everyone,
Yeah.
Like, duh. Then there's the negativity of using Santa only as a way to threaten against bad behavior.
Right.
Which, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Like, you're only going to get presents if you are good.
Right.
And if you're bad, Santa's not going to bring you shit.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight to carry on a kid.
Yeah.
Like thinking you're going to get punished by this imaginary figure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially religion too.
Yes.
So,
they are definitely related. And then finally, there's the economically oppressed children. They're not going to get nice gifts from Santa.
Right.
So is it really fair that, like, in our house, we've always made the ridiculously expensive stuff if we're able to get something like that? We always make that the thing that's from Santa because clearly that's not something that mom and dad would give.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And there are people saying it should be the other way around, that Santa should bring the small junk, not the expensive shit.
Yeah. Well, I think early on with our kids, and we did do Santa,
Mm-hmm.
Early on with our kids, we told them not to like talk about their gifts at school and stuff too, because we were concerned about people that didn't have as much or weren't able to, and vice versa. Like there might be people that have more than our kid, So it's one of those things that it can show the discrepancies in how much one person makes versus another, and that's like it to a kid. It just seems unfair,
and it is unfair,
right?
So that's all the bad stuff. How do you feel about like the lie? Do you feel like it pushes a bad sense of morality?
So we have 2 kids, both of them which are now adults. And we've had discussions with both of them, I think, about this after they were adults. And I don't feel like it hurt them. Like, I don't feel like it was a thing that caused a problem in our relationship or anything like that. And I do think that they had fun with the whole Santa thing at some level. So I guess...
I mean, we
still give
our kids a gift from Santa.
Right. In our case, I guess I'm okay with it. And, it's fine. You know, again, just my personal opinion, I'm not big on Santa. I don't like pushing. There's so many things that I'm against with regard to Santa, and it goes to consumerism and religion and things like that. But at the same time, we've never done those specific things. Like it's never been about you have to give this to that person and you have to, like that's never been what it's been about. Our kids have always gotten the thing that we were excited to get them because it was something that they wanted more than anything in the world.
Or didn't even know that they wanted.
Yeah. So that's what it's always been with us is like we got them something to help further their art or their working out or whatever it was. That was what we did. And
something related to their personal interests.
I don't know. I don't have a great answer.
I didn't realize that you were so anti-Santa. This is such a odd discussion to be having.
I am not...
You sound like you're anti-Santa.
I'm anti-Santa because of what it represents in the grander scheme.
You're not anti-American Santa.
Like, at a personal level, like, we're parents, right? And we manage it the way we manage it. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay knowing how we manage it, that we handle it correctly. Mm-hmm. Like, we handle it in a way in which I don't think it's going to damage our kids, in a way in which I think it makes it fun and better and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
But I don't think that the idea in general is a good thing.
So if you could go back in time, would you not do Santa in our household? Oh my God, that pregnant silence. Holy shit.
I don't know.
Wow. That's amazing. I had no idea. This conversation is like literally rocking me off my chair. How do you feel about not obviously it didn't erode their trust in us. Do you feel like it taught them, that lying is okay or whatever?
No, I don't think that happened.
Okay. So you might not do Santa if we went back in time. I still would. But
no, I get it. I get it. And again, I think that as it comes down to me and you, I'm fine with the way we do it. Like, you've always been big on Christmas and I have fond memories of Christmas as well. So, like, I'm not against doing Christmas. It's just, I guess, with hindsight as to partly for what we're doing now, partly some of the people that I've talked to, partly just, I don't know. I don't know if I would, I don't know if I'd be for it being who I am now if I went back 20 years.
That's so interesting. So. Wow. I'm shooketh. So here's what some of the researchers say are good about Santa.
Yeah.
Okay. It does help preserve the magic of the season. Also, it is a natural part of child development to have an imaginative thought process.
Right.
So it does encourage that part of their brain.
Sure.
And believing in things that grown-ups don't is a perfectly normal part of childhood, from fairies in the garden to monsters under the bed.
Sure.
Things like that. Imaginary friends.
Right.
So, like, that is not only normal, but encouraged.
Right.
Because it is part of their natural development.
Right.
Also, believing in joy and goodwill is, a good thing to encourage.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I found interesting, because this is something that is discussed in certain types of therapy for mental health. Looking forward to Christmas Day provides hits of anticipatory dopamine.
Yeah.
And there's this whole list of things that you're supposed to do for, like, providing yourself happiness. One of them is planning out things to look forward to.
Gotcha.
And Christmas Day is
provides
one of the big ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
it's
easy.
Funny. It's funny you said that, because, like, when I was growing up, like, Christmas Day was my brother and I. We would get up at like 5 in the morning, and tiptoe down the stairs and, like, see what we could see, and then, like, wait until like 6 o'clock hit, because we're like, that's a reasonable hour. Right. And then we go knock on our parents' door and be like, get up now. But our kids
slept in.
Oh my God, you couldn't get them up on Christmas Day.
I mean, it would be like 10 a.m. and we would be like, okay, the day's getting away from us. Let's do Christmas.
Right. We're like, get up. Santa's been here. And they're like, can you wait me in like a half an hour?
And we're like, no, we already did that
twice. I mean, this is even like early on.
Yeah.
Even when our kid was like little. They didn't want to get up for Christmas.
No,
neither one of them. There was never an anticipatory response I got up early to Christmas Day.
Like, when I was a kid, me and my sister, on Christmas Eve, we would share a room. So that my parents could make sure that we were locked in safely to one little area, not tiptoeing around, right?
Right.
And did you and your brother share a room on Christmas Eve?
So, I mean, we shared a room for some years, but then no, after a certain point. So... yeah.
So we had separate rooms, but it was just on Christmas Eve.
Right.
We shared a room so that we would get up together.
Right.
And yeah, we were always up by 8 a.m. Like,
gotcha. Yeah, we were up before that. So.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. I think that's the way most kids are. But yeah, our kids were like, we'll get there when they get there. The presents ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And we're like, but the cat's getting into stuff. and we're hungry. And we stayed up all night wrapping shit last minute. We're like ready to
if we're
get
up,
Christmas
then you
on.
fuckers should be up.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Okay, so here's another thing that researchers say. In taking children to see animated movies, and like there was a list of like the really popular Disney movies like Frozen and Moana, Encanto, for God's sakes.
Right.
Or reading fun books, and they listed fun fantasy books like Harry Potter's the obvious big one, but there's also, Chronicles of Narnia and other kid books, right?
Yep.
And in dressing them up for Halloween, we're involving children in fantasy worlds, and that's as it should be.
Right.
We should be providing these fun things, these fun experiences for our kids.
Yeah.
And Santa is one of those, I guess, they say.
And again, I'm torn on the subject. I'm torn. Because I don't like what Santa and Christmas has come to stand for.
Right.
It's not family anymore. It's really just not.
It's kind of like, do you like America? And the answer is mixed bag. I like what it could be and should be, but not what it is. Is that how you feel about Christmas?
Yeah, like I kind of like how we do our Christmas now. We do our Christmas very minimal, and
we don't even sell or decorate.
No, not
we don't
really.
even have a tree up this year.
Yeah, no, and we spend time with family, and we give gifts that we know our kids are gonna like, and we just enjoy our time with them. That's all.
Mostly we do family stuff. We always start the day unwrapping presents, and then we go to your mom's for like dinner, which is actually like just late lunch.
Right.
And then we go to my parents for like coffee and pie and cake and whatever.
Sure.
And then that's pretty much it. And we get to see our siblings.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, it's just, yeah. I don't know. We're in the middle of this podcast, and I'm sitting here just analyzing my thoughts, and I'm not really sure, but I don't think that you have to be sure. I think you just you just have to not be an asshole, right? You
right.
can't use Santa as a punishment avenue. You can't use religion the same way. Like that's a big hang up that I have with religion, is the way it's utilized on kids as a punishment and a fear thing.
Right.
So I guess it's in how it's implemented at the household level. Really. Yeah.
I can remember my first reaction on reading an article about how you shouldn't give the expensive gift from Santa to your kids because, economically oppressed kids don't get fancy shit from Santa.
Yeah.
I remember my first initial reaction was like, excuse you? Telling me how to do my Santa, I'll give what the fuck I want.
But no, see, that makes sense to me.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. My initial reaction was like, the hell you say, stop bossing me around. But like, that was 2 years ago. And over the last 2 years, that article has sat with me.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of like, I'll do it the way I want. But I'm also like, but yeah, that makes sense though.
Right. If we could all agree, right, that Santa only gives small trinkets or something, right? Mm-hmm. That would make it a little bit more fair for kids across the world, across the country or whatever, because they wouldn't be as put out if Santa didn't get them the,
fucking
whatever.
PS2 or whatever the fuck the new thing is.
Yeah, the big stuff came from the parents. It wasn't something Santa didn't get them.
Right.
But the expectation is that you can ask Santa for whatever you want, and you'll get something on that list.
Right.
Right? Like, at least.
Yeah.
And then some kids get it all,
and
some kids get maybe one thing or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
they get nothing.
And then when that gets broken out at the, friend level, when you're talking about it at school the next day or the next week, whatever, that's when the problems start setting in. Like, wait, why would Santa bring you this and I got that?
Right. I only got
this is
socks.
Fucked up. It's fucked up.
And you got all the, new games and shit, whatever, expensive things.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
And then parents have to start backpedaling and making excuses as to why our version of Santa is different from Tommy's version of Santa.
Right.
Like, why did they get that and I only got this? And then and then it forces the parents to increase that lie or have a sit down and, whatever.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that ever really happened in our case, but it could. It could.
Right.
And I could see, I mean, we were never, we're not rich, but we always made enough money to get something nice for our kids, so I don't feel like they ever wanted for what they didn't care what the other kids got. They got what they wanted, but there's a poor kid out there that didn't get probably anything for Christmas.
Of course.
And sitting there just, sad as fuck.
Why doesn't Santa like me or whatever? Why don't I deserve, how bad am I that even Santa didn't bring me anything?
Right. And their parents might have even got mad at them for even asking,
right,
about Santa or getting gifts and stuff,
right.
So, I mean, you just don't know what kind of trauma is happening because of the holiday and the other kids around you. So.
Right. And I can see somebody like my parents being like, well, why are other kids my responsibility? And I guess that was kind of my initial reaction was, and I'm not proud of my initial reaction, to be clear. Okay.
Yeah.
My initial reaction was well, why do I have to worry about other people's households and what Santa's bringing other kids and blah, 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 blah. But that is such a self-centered, small-minded way of thinking of it.
Right.
And I mean, on the one hand, I do want to make sure that my kids get something good for Christmas, whether it's from me or Santa.
Sure.
And I don't want to have to worry about other kids.
Right.
And I guess I resent the fact but I do though.
I guess this is why I struggle with
have to worry about other kids.
This is why I struggle with the question of Santa. Because if we had a real discussion about the meaning behind Christmas.
Right.
And our kids understood that we were the ones getting the gifts and they were the ones giving the gifts, etc. At that level, then there's no longer this problem of Santa gave us this, but you didn't get that.
Right.
There's no longer this question as to whether or not it's a punishment from some imaginary thing or from your parents. It doesn't. It's less repressive, I feel, to do it a different way. To do it in a way that maybe Santa represents a time to show love to your family and giving, and maybe Santa just shows up to reinforce that everyone's giving something and treating you right and everything like that. But it's in the way that we state what Christmas is and what Santa's about that will define how you relay that to other people in your life, including kids at an elementary school level that relay it to their friends. And that's where the problem comes in. I
mean, you and I don't even participate in family gift exchanges, partly because of this.
Right.
Because
it's pointless.
Well, that, and we don't have enough money for all of our family members.
Right. And it's
not to do that and to get our kids the things that we want to get them.
Well, and essentially, why don't you just all take out a $10 bill and just swap it with each other?
Right.
It's the stupidest shit.
Yeah.
I've never understood gift exchanges.
I don't either.
I'm like, there's always a dollar limit. And I'm like, okay, can I just take that dollar limit and go, get my own shit that I want?
Yeah.
Because this is stupid.
Because how many times have you ever just said, I have $25 just to spend on myself for something fun?
It's much less stress to just enjoy your family. Can we just skip the gift giving between the extended family and let's just enjoy our time?
Right. Well, just this evening, it occurred to me, I said to you, oh my God, it's Christmas Eve. And because our kids aren't with us this year.
Yeah.
And it's just me and you.
Yep.
We didn't really decorate. We didn't put up a tree or anything. And I was like, oh my God, it's Christmas Eve. And yeah, we have plans to go see our families tomorrow. But you and I specifically, we did not get each other even one thing. And I was like, oh, I feel like shit. And you were like, oh shit, me too. And I was like, oh, that's crappy. We have nothing to unwrap from each other tomorrow. And then you were like, let's just get out our phones and each order something. And I was like, for each other or for ourselves? And you were like, well, for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if I'm being honest, there are specific things that I want, and I want to be free to buy them without feeling guilty. I'm not going to go out book shopping right now.
The gift I'm going to give you right now is the free pass of not feeling guilty for spending
whatever
$40,
book you want.
Or whatever,
Go buy yourself a couple books, whatever book you want. I know that's what you want. I don't know what book you want. I mean, honestly, anytime I've ever asked you, like, to buy me books, I give you a specific list of, here are 5 books that I want. Pick 1 or 2 to get for me.
Right.
I might as well just get them myself.
I agree.
And you.
To me, I guess, like, I enjoy, you know this, like, when our kid got sick, I would go and, like, on the way back from the doctor's office, I would run into a store and get their medicine, and I'd come up with a thing of Legos or something.
Every single time, 100%. Or you would swing by one of the game stores and
buy a video game.
100%. Right. Every time I'm like, where the fuck are we going? This isn't the way home. And you would stop every time and get our sick kid something to cheer them up.
But why?
Because you buy presents all the time throughout the year to make your child happy. It doesn't have to be on Christmas.
Exactly.
Which is the point that I think you were trying to ultimately make.
Yes.
That we try to get something for each other, for our kid, whatever. I mean, okay, yeah, we don't have anything for each other for Christmas under the tree. But how many times have you walked into the house with something that, like, oh, I saw this and thought of you.
Right.
Or hey, I stopped at the grocery store and they had a bag of candy on sale half off, so I got you too.
Right.
Like, that sounds stupid, but you guys, if you are not buying your significant other or your babies something small and stupid that you know that they like, you're doing life wrong.
Right.
If you've got the money for a little bit extra something stupid every once in a while.
Yeah. I guess that's my point. What's my point? My point is
love each other.
Yeah, just be
love each other all the time. Be nice to each other all the time. And if you don't have the money to buy stupid somethings, come in all the time and tell your people that you love. Tell them you love them. Use those words. Write them on a sticky note. Hey, I like your stupid hair today.
Right.
You know?
And that whole thing where you get a gift and you're like, this sucks. Why do we do this to each other? Why not just get the gift you want?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, the part that's important is the family, is the love, is the being together.
Yeah.
It's not the fucking gifts.
It's not the gifts, you guys.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was our rant on Santa. But we have more. There's more of a rant. You guys. We're gonna go rant in a minute, but this is gonna be for Patreons only.
Yeah,
Patreon subscribers only.
This next part is for Patreon subscribers only.
Yeah, so if you want to continue this conversation with us here on Christmas,
do you know what else we're talking about for patrons only?
We're talking about Elf on the fucking Shelf.
We sure as fuck are.
Yeah, because Elf on the Shelf is we'll save.
Elf.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I won't even save that.
I shared a picture tonight on Twitter, and it was a picture of like some like chicken wing bones in the shape of like an elf with a little elf hat.
Oh my god!
Only they were eaten, and it said, "Santa, thanks for the elf. Cookies help wash it down." You know? something like that.
And that really describes my entire feelings on the situation. But we will get into it more. If you subscribe to Patreon, it's only $2 a month at the lowest level.
Yeah.
You'll get to hear our extra little rant here.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you know on average, an American spends like $30 a month on just alcohol?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're only asking for like $2. You can probably find that laying outside your car if you just keep looking every day.
Oh my god.
So I'm just saying, whatever.
In your couch?
Join us or don't, but it's $2 a month, and then you can get all the bonus episodes.
Yeah.
So, all right, thanks guys for joining us for the Santa rant, and hopefully we'll see you over for the Elf on the Shelf rant here.
Yep.
All right, talk to you guys soon.
Bye. Oh no, husband, why did it stop?
Well, this was just a teaser introducing our special bonus episode just for our Patreon members and our Acast Plus subscribers.
But how can listeners hear the entire episode?
Visit us at patreon.com and become a member or subscribe on Acast Plus.
That's right. For as little as $2 a month on either platform, listeners can hear all our bonus material.
That sounds like a great deal. Links are in the show notes. Go sign up now.